Welcome to the Nick and Matt Show, bringing the player interviews you want to hear and the hot topics you want to discuss. Recording live in studio, here's Nick and Matt.
Actually recording live in studio is Nick and Matt. Nick is in studio. Surprise to me. He showed up half hour ago and said, Matt, I'm here. My kids looked out the door and they said, someone in a white car is here, Dad. And they said, it's Nick. I said, no, it's not Nick.
Yep.
It's Nick. Listen, his microphone sounds great. He's
Microphone
here.
sounds great. Camera actually looks really good. And I can't imagine that we'll have any internet problems here. I won't freeze up mid-interview or mid-question.
Don't say it.
Like
knock, knock.
Yeah.
The gym locker room background. Evan.
Yes, we should have put it in.
Someone last week said it looks like the warden from a prison is letting me do a podcast in my cell.
I was thinking about green screening it in and surprising everybody. Evan, what's up, man?
Not much, just hanging out down here. I now have the worst backdrop of the cruise, so dang it, Nick.
I had to do some quick cleaning and throwing some blue lights up and all that because we don't usually have this angle for anymore unless a guest is here or something. So I got to do some work. Wow. Elite, I was going to say Elite Plus, but really it's a playoff event, which everyone on the internet's like, what is this playoff? What is playoffs? Can someone explain to me besides saying it's a playoff? Yeah, there's obviously technical details. I feel the sentiment to that. But anyways, a playoff event happened and some big wins. I mean, they're always big wins. Would there have been a win that we would have said, not so big? I don't know. I mean,
not this year.
Even Calvin, Calvin, I would have said it was a big win.
Yeah, I think Tatar's the only person where it's not a big win at this point.
Good point.
Maybe Paige if she was healthy.
Good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the MPO, I don't think there is right now. You'd say, that's not that important for them. So, wow. So big wins. We didn't give the spoiler away yet. If you're looking for the spoiler, stick around. We're going to talk about it. We have had multiple people message us, Nick. And I don't know if you see it in social media, but every Disc Golf Pro Tour live stream, we get messages. They're like, dudes, do you guys know that the Disc Golf Pro Tour is ripping off your intro song?
Yep.
And for what it's worth.
So is McDonald's, by the way.
Yeah, I've heard it a couple times in random areas.
Wow.
And
it's true. We found it. We discovered it.
Which is pretty sweet though, because they're linking the Nick and Matt show to the Pro Tour on that, which it means we are doing something right. Yeah, it's awesome. Well, it's funny enough, Simon's old, I don't know if he still does it. I haven't watched one of his vlogs in a hot minute, but his ending music is this really, really cool song.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was watching TV and an ad for some male enhancement performance, drug for males.
Getting better at disc golf, right? For males.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. But that was playing and I was like, oh, Simon's vlog. I thought I just accidentally turned it on, but no, it was a random commercial.
It's funny. It's royalty free. Obviously, we're not paying big bucks for our music. I've worked with people over at Disc Golf Network. They do all their own, but I'm surprised some of these ads, they just hey, let's just do the same thing as everyone else.
Yeah.
So anyways, I appreciate you texting us or messaging us or however you reach out, because it tells me that we have linked that song to our show and we've changed it up every year here or there. So that's a cool one. Guys, there are people on the Appalachian Trail that listen to the Nick and Matt show. It made it back to me. A friend of mine, this lady and his husband, the Chambers. Sorry if I gave it out. I don't know what their trail name is. People get trail names on
Flying Fox.
So they said they ran into some people, and one thing led to another. She's really talkative conversationalist, and I guess disc golf came up, and they're like, I don't know how this happens, but they're on the Appalachian Trail, and they're like, oh yeah, we love the Nick and Matt show. We listen all the time. And I'm like, we'll give them a shout out. So their trail names, ready? This is the trail name of the two individuals they ran into. Dung Beetle and Espresso. So if that is you on the Appalachian Trail, you've been going for months, you're trying to do this big, life accomplishment, shout out to you guys if you're hearing us on the trail. And if not, hopefully this is encouraging and you've actually completed the trail.
I didn't even know people had trail names.
What would your trail name be?
That's what it is. You don't go by your real name. You just have kind of these made up fun little ones.
My one time my blind cousin went on the Appalachian Trail, found a family, a group. They gave her trail name and they kicked her out. And they just let her go. She's blind, by the way. She can barely see in one eye.
What?
So she had to go home because like she just
Ooh.
it was like, I don't know. They just kicked her out. It was weird, but it was bad.
Yeah, and not to hold on this too
That's a
long,
good
but I do know
story.
people will group up with different people, and then like you'll move on. One person will take like a day off, and you meet them up with them like 2 weeks later in 2 different states or something. Kind of is like when you have these packs, but it kind of comes and goes. So I've heard. But trail names for us, that's something to do another time.
We'll figure out trail
gonna be
names another
Berg,
time.
Kernsburg,
And for what
the
it's
trail
worth,
names.
I'm pretty sure you don't get to, I mean, there's unspoken rules. You don't get to pick your trail name. Like the people pick it for you. So I think that would go to a chat and they would just have to stick that way. But so leave
Yeah,
your
that's-
comments.
That's the chat and the comments and
Yes.
the replies and whatnot's job for this whole
Exactly.
episode.
I was off last week. I was camping. I tried to listen as much as I could, but the signal, Nick, you know what it's like up there
I know what
in
it's
New York.
like. Yeah.
It's like hit or miss. It's freezing. It's buffering. The
Yeah.
campground tries to have Wi-Fi, but I'm in the farthest
And
corner.
it never works.
I was glamping and it was wonderful. And because my ankle was so injured, I was trying to sit around the fire and cook and everything else. My ankle, while getting better, it's not a weight bearing issue at this point 2 weeks later. Like I can hobble around pretty much pain free.
Yeah.
But as soon as I go to like twist, turn, or anything else on my ankle, it's too much. I have to drop out of the Maple Hill event this weekend.
What?
Yep. I have to drop out, dude.
No.
Yeah. Like how am I supposed to throw? I even
Do what
tried.
Parker did, just stand
I
still.
thought about
four hands.
I thought about, but then I'm like, dude, like, why am I playing?
It's not worth it.
Like, but
Don't-
why am I playing?
Just
Right.
drop out.
So I dropped. So I'm letting my son
Yeah.
Tanner fill my
And
spot.
me. I'm playing.
Yep. So don't get
You
beat by
wanna-
Tanner.
You want to know what's funny, Matt? We were hanging out 8 years ago on this day. So in 2015, you were also at the Word of Life campground
Wow.
with your family. And I went over to see you because you had texted me. That's when I was going to school at Word of Life, and I was working there in the summertime. And we were talking about, you remember Pete Plum went all the way from Massachusetts to New York,
Yes.
and he rode his bike the whole way there. And now for people, we're just casually talking about this. From our area here, it's about 3.5 hours north to upstate New York, where I used to go to school, and they had this massive campground that families would go to. And I was working on what's called the ranch. And one of our church friends that we had growing up, him and I think a couple other people, they literally rode their bikes the whole way up. And it's a
Mhm.
3.5 hour car ride. Now I don't know exactly how long that is on a bike ride, but dude, I can ride a bike.
It's got to
for
be
like
close to 200
20
miles
minutes.
at least. It's got to be.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah,
That's my guess.
maybe.
200 miles.
Yeah, who knows? Anyways, yeah, I just thought it was funny because 8 years later, once again, we are hanging out talking about New York.
And here we are again. Dude, it came up like I was caddying for you at MVPM side, all these memories and all the
Yeah.
time. Okay.
Oh yeah, those ones came up. That was cool.
So my ankle's still an issue. Not that anyone cared, but I'm not going to be, trying to beat, Paul McBeth anytime soon. It just is what it is. Speaking of Paul McBeth,
Speaking of Paul,
give us the quick update on Paul because
Yeah.
you were just talking to him.
just talked to him before the podcast. Gave him a quick little call. He's actually on his way out to Vermont currently for the World Championships. Biggest thing is, it's, and I think we've talked about this before. It's a rotator cuff injury. Also had a couple ribs come out of place, so he had to get his ribs reset. Now I don't really know exactly what that means or how you reset a rib. Anyways, had to get his ribs
Sounds
reset.
wonderful.
The last day of D-GLO on yesterday, he threw, I think he said 28 shots. So he did 7 shots at 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%. And said it wasn't feeling too bad. And then he's getting the okay to start practicing putting a little bit more. He's getting out to Vermont a little early so that he can, get some field work done, figure out what everything's feeling like. He's going to walk the courses, see what the changes are. He's not going to officially play the courses probably till closer to the event itself, because we're still over a week away technically from
Yeah.
Worlds. And but that's kind of the Paul McBeth in the life of Paul McBeth. I don't know, Paul McBeth
Injuries.
tracker. Yeah.
And it's and I didn't talk to Paul. I just heard you talking to him. But to me, it doesn't seem quite like it's an injury, but it's more of like, hey, if I limit it, I can play Worlds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to like, he could probably play any of these last events.
Yeah.
Not his best. And also then he probably limits the fact he wouldn't be able to compete as fully as he could at Worlds. So
I think this is also the conversation we were having, a month or two ago with players, in ULIB areas talks about this, to where every single disc golfer out there is battling with some small sort of injury, some bigger than
Yeah.
others, but everyone is battling with, I would assume, some sort of injury. And Paul made the decision a while back to say, you know what, I'm going to rest as much as I can and get my body set up so that I can go for the World Championships, which is arguably the biggest event of the year. And then you have other players playing because some players, you know, they need the points or they need the cash or they need, you know, all these different things to where they kind of have to battle through the injuries while still playing the events. And I think it's, you know, it's always an unfortunate position. You want to be able to take time like Matt. You don't want to go out and play this tournament this weekend because what's the point? You're just going to hurt your ankle a little bit more. I know we're playing on a much different scale than what the top pros are doing for a living, but the sentiment is kind of still the same.
Absolutely. And while I talk about it every week, these things, it does drive it home more when I'm like, I don't even have a career like to worry about on my ankle. Like I can sit down for my job, but like it went through my head. I was like, man, if you play it, just pushes it out. Like you're going to stay hurt. You're going to stay hurt and you won't be your best. And so that was why jokingly in the chat last week, I'm like, hey, ask Valerie how she did it. Cause like, and I know there's a documentary, a docuseries out right now on DGN about her and that's fantastic. But so I'm, for what it's worth, my ankle situation, that's what I'm doing.
I played a tournament yesterday, a small one in Virginia before I came, you know, pretty much back to Massachusetts. Played my event, and when I was warming up that morning, I went to, you know, we're playing kind of a bigger course for the second round, and I went to rip on a shot and just kind of like really let it go, and my back just felt horrible right after I did that. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm throwing 70% today because just after that one thing, and so now it's like, all right, well, it's good. I've got some time off. I might go down to West Virginia still this weekend for a big 8-tier that's going on down there. But other than that, I've kind of got a free rest of the year. I'm pretty excited for that. I want to kind of just let my body kind of recoup. I don't know, get back into a little bit more weight training. It's tough when you're traveling every single week. Like, you know, I don't remember the last time that I didn't travel more than 3 hours on a weekend. It's kind of wild that every single weekend you're off somewhere else. And a lot of events nowadays, and you know, this is a topic for a different time, but you know, 3-day B tiers are something I wish didn't happen in disc golf unless the added cash was really, really big in there. But like 2-day B tiers, great. If you do 2 rounds on Saturday,
just
1 round on Sunday,
3-round B tier.
I think that's awesome.
2 days.
3-round B tiers though, where the winner is getting like maybe $600 or $700 to travel anywhere. It feels like now for 3 days and to maybe get a hotel or an Airbnb. I see
where you're going with it.
You're almost spending. You know, I went to Delaware for an 8-tier, and that's a 3-day, and 8 tiers are different. They have a lot of added cash into them. But we had, I think, 7 or 8 people staying at the Airbnb that we're at. Now, take out 4 of those people, and everyone, instead of paying $170 for the week, or the 3 days that you're there, you're paying $380. And now it's like, okay, so I pretty much got to get top 7 at this event to even break even on just that. That doesn't count the money that you spend on food and all these different things. So I just wish Massachusetts is actually a little bit better. I watch all the events that's going on here, and you know, they've got 1-day B tier still. I feel like that's a rare. I finally just played a 1-day B tier, and it was awesome because afterwards I was like, sweet, I get to go home and go to my own bed. And realistically, I ended up just packing some stuff and driving to Massachusetts throughout the night.
Dude,
but
Evan, do you get this joke in the chat? It says disc golfers discussing joints. Way to lean into the stereotype.
Joints.
Oh, like human joints, like injuries.
Evan's like,
yeah, that's fine.
Sorry.
I still need to get my setup right here, so I'm not actively looking at chat.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, Cosmic Disc Golf, everybody. I'm wearing the hat. I'm wearing the shirt. Proudly so. Cosmic Disc Golf.
I think Ben's wearing the shirt too. You guys?
Yeah, it just so happened.
Oh,
we got the banner up, so you can't even see it, but he's wearing it.
Where's Sid from Toy Story at?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is royally roasting. You're right.
all right, I don't look like Sid.
He just needs the skull on the shirt.
Just because I have short hair doesn't mean I look like Sid.
Okay. All right. He just needs to, I want to ride the
I
pony.
look so cool, actually. Look at me.
You do look cool. Okay.
You're posting your 12-year-old trick shots, and you have the same haircut. So
CosmicDG.com. You can see the logo on screen. New and used disc. They have cool stamps. The stamp is so cool. It's worth it getting on any disc. At Cosmic Disc Golf Instagram, have a Cosmic Day. So we have Ohn Scoggins coming on in 14 minutes. She was not available for video call, but a phone call. So we will be trying an attempt at live phone calling, like actually calling her to be like, hello. We'll see how this goes. But before we get there, Evan, we're giving you 13 minutes. Is that enough time for you to talk about all that happened?
That's plenty of time.
All right, give us what you got, and we'll see where we're at after that.
All right, well, let's start with Ohn Scoggins because she wins her first career elite event in FPO. She's won numerous master majors, but still looking for that first elite or major in FPO. She had 14 podiums at elite and major events coming into this event without a win. She was one away from the record for most elite or major podiums without a win, but gets a win. So no longer has that record to go for, gets her first win. And you saw what it meant to her if you watched the final hole. Her walking up the fairway was just so excited, saying, I've been working so hard for this. It's, pretty much about time. And she taps in her putt and everyone's embracing her. All her competitors were so happy for Ohn to get it. And it meant so much to Ohn. So it's a really cool sight to see. If you haven't watched it yet, go back and at least watch the final hole and see her get that really cool win. I want to give you guys a chance to have any thoughts or what you saw from Ohn before I move on.
First and foremost, congratulations to Ohn. Now, no, I've said this about Tatar, where I was like, man, the dominance factor, it comes through because she's winning, and it comes through because of the stroke amount, but it doesn't come through because of what looks like the high level ceiling, like explosive, amazing power, like do insane things. And I feel the same way about Ohn. And I'm like questioning, where is this quote dominance coming from? Now, you could argue, was it dominant or not, but it was a great win. And I don't mean to throw my kids under the bus, but out of the mouths of kids sometimes say the most honest things. They're like, would you look at Ohn's form, and like, she does this, Hunter, I can't believe it. Like, this is how she throws for you. And like, she has very unique situation, but what it is consistency. The same thing that Tatar has.
Yeah. So
wouldn't we have loved to see both of them there on that day? Because that course demands consistency. Congratulations, Ohn. That's my response.
Yeah, I think what's funny is when we were doing the picks for this event, we were talking about how Ohn did get second at this event last year. And it actually kind of surprised me because this is not the event that you think Ohn Scoggins is getting second at. She's not a distance thrower. She's not a distance forehand player, but she putts better than most of the women on the tour right now. And she just does things consistently, like we were talking about. And that chop forehand that she does with the Halo Destroyer, she makes it work. And
makes me want to try it.
Yeah, exactly. She made it work all weekend, and she stuck to that game plan. She was able to throw that disc what seemed like 175 feet and out. She was ripping on that Halo Destroyer and just putting it near the basket, making the putt, walking away. She wasn't doing anything flashy to where we're like, oh my gosh, but to go 7 down, 7 down, 7 down, 4 down. You can always talk about, did she dominate the win because she only won by 2 strokes? Yeah, she dominated the first 3 days of it, and the last day she didn't have to dominate.
Look,
it doesn't matter.
Kristen Tatar over in Europe.
Exactly. It doesn't matter whether you win by 1 or by 10 or by 20. You're still getting paid the same amount. It doesn't matter at that point unless you're going for some record-setting event.
And it is way too hard to try to figure out if she was playing to be dominant or if she was playing for the win on the last day. You can't, would she have done the same shots? Would she have played as, all these things are hard to factor in. Again, to your point, Nick, I agree.
Every player is going out there to shoot their best round. But in certain situations, you start playing match play.
That's what I'm saying.
Simon played match play with Eagle. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. On hole 16, Simon played match play with Eagle and got a stroke because of it. And anyways, Evan, keep it going.
All right, Evan, that was you shouldn't have asked.
We took into your time.
No, that's great. I love that stuff. So Ohn Scoggins wins $10,000 from this. That's $40.49 cash per throw. Nick, you'll love that. Remember, she was the highest rated player in this field in the FPO division at 982. She shot a 1,000.25 event rating. Oh man, people are gonna get mad at me for not knowing the exact number. I believe that's the 7th time an FPO player has shot a 1,000 or better event rating at an FPO elite or major. That's on our social media if you want to see. I'm almost positive it's 7, but if you're like, oh no, I need to know for exact, go check our social media out. She's up to 2 in the Statmando official rankings. She moves up a spot to that. And the official player of the year is 2nd as well. And in Disc Golf Pro Tour points, she is in 3rd place now. In 2nd place, Ben's pick, Ella Hansen, down by 2 strokes. She shot a great 997 event rating. That's 32 points better than her rating. She finished 15th here last year, so a great improvement. This is just like Ben's leaderboard right here. Kat Mersch in 3rd place, and then Holland Hanley and Missy Gannon tying for 5th. Swinging it over to MPO, Simon Lizotte wins. I'm going to hold off on a few stats for Simon just for a second and talk about a few other people, and then we'll swing back to Simon and get everyone's thoughts. But Eagle McMahon finishing 2nd, on that. He was 2 for 2 at D-GLO before this, winning both times he played this event. This is his first time not winning D-GLO when he shows up, which is really impressive. Chris Dickerson gets third. That's his second podium of the year at Elite and Majors. Other one being a Music City Open, which, interesting enough, Simon Lizotte also won that one. And Cole Riddellin getting his fifth Elite or Major podium, tying with Chris Dickerson at third. That's Cole Riddellin's fifth Elite Major podium, as I said, all being this year, which is really incredible. He didn't have a single podium at the Elite or Major level before the season, and now is up to 5, and three of those are from the last 4 events. And then rounding out the top 5, we have Kevin Jones getting a top 5 and Calvin Heimberg tying for 5th. He was last year's winner. This tied for 5th is Calvin's third worst finish of the year at a Disc Golf Pro Tour event. I don't know if you heard that right. His third worst finish of the year at a Pro Tour event is a 5th place. Wow. And we're in August. That's mental.
I told you he can't be counted on.
He can be counted on for a top 5.
Yeah.
All right, not to win.
Simon Lizotte wins by 3 strokes. Got $15,000 cash per throw of $65. This is his second Elite win of the year and first Elite win of the year without Nick Carl on the bag. So his first win at MVP without Nick Carl.
Just goes to prove.
Just goes to prove caddies don't matter. They don't. I'm just kidding. Simon and I were just talking.
If he had Nick on the bag,
exactly. If he just told me to full time travel with him, I think he's having a better season than Calvin Heimberg. Hot take. I think it's gonna happen. But no, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Keep going.
Yeah. Well, Simon, it's a 6th win in this stretch. We counted out. It's 455 days since his OTB win last year, and it's 29 Elite or Major events within that span, counting both the first and the last of the stretch. He has the most wins in that stretch of anyone. If we went out to 30 events, Wysocki was second with 5. But if we just do the last 29 events, Wysocki actually has 4. But Simon leads all competitors in that range, in MPO, of course, with 6. I was doing some analysis too, because we're kind of comparing him on par 4s compared to par 3s. Really, really interesting. I was looking at strokes gained to just tour card holders, not the whole entire field. That way it can kind of look at each field equally. Think about D-GLO. It's a playoff event, so there was only really the top 70 or 80 in Pro Tour points or any Disc Golf Pro Tour tour card holders, or like a few other select people like Manabu Kajiyama. You didn't have your locals rounding out the field to 110 players. So normally strokes gained to the field would look a lot lower here because you don't have, I'm going to say like the weak part of the field lowering some numbers. So looking at just tour card holders gives a little bit better idea. He gained over 10 strokes per 18 holes on par 4s, which there's 11 par 4s at the Toboggan with only 7 par 3s. He actually lost strokes to the field of tour card holders on par 3s throughout the weekend. That stat is largely inflated because of hole 16, because he did not do well on that really all weekend. He picked up a par the last 2 days, which was the best he did. He double bogeyed it in round 1, single bogeyed it in round 2. Of course, people are going to remember the par in round 4 where he intentionally went OB. People are saying he broke the course. He, genius move. Would love to hear his thoughts on that. I'm sure we'll get to it.
He actually responded in the, was it, what do they call it, Tournament Central, following the DGN feed. He said he didn't think about it until he was walking up. To it. So that was his thoughts. He's like, what do I want to throw here? Oh, I guess I can just get a 3 and be fine. So
yeah. Well, last thing I want to put before I get your opinions, not to go on too long. If we looked at just the par 4s to finish out the course, being hole 15, 17, and 18, so just the par 4 skipping over hole 16. Those were his 3 best holes of the weekend to strokes gained to tour card holders. He went 8 down in total through all 4 rounds, had a birdie rate of 67%, didn't bogey a single one of those all weekend. Only one of 3 players to not bogey any of those holes all weekend. And he had 8 birdies. The next highest had 5. Three players all had 5, and they all had multiple bogeys. Excuse me. You have to look. Eagle McMahon had the next most amount of birdies while having no bogeys, and he only had 4 birdies. So half the total score on that, and he gained 11 strokes in the field throughout the tournament on just those 3 holes, almost averaging a stroke per hole because he played 3 holes 4 times. That's 12 holes, gaining 11 strokes on it, and pretty much gaining a stroke to tour card holders on each of those holes is dirty. That's incredible. I don't mean to dwell on the fact that he lost strokes on par 3s. The fact he gained so many strokes on those holes is incredible. And two of the times was knowing he had the lead in the final round. Hole 17, I mean, maybe it was his normal game plan and he would have played the exact same way, but it felt kind of conservative. And hole 18, I think definitely was a little bit conservative. He birdied them both in previous rounds at some point. So he could have, but maybe took a little bit off to guarantee that win and not go OB. But with 2 minutes left until Owen, what did you guys think of Simon's win?
All is right in the disc golf world when Simon Lizotte is on top winning. I don't know. I think just for him being such a cool friend to us and such an awesome guest that we've had on the show before, and he's just an awesome guy in general, it's cool to see him go out and win. And I think a lot of people, when he signed the big contract this year for MVP, switching companies to a completely different type of plastic, people are definitely worried about, what's that going to do to a player? Is he going to ever feel right with it? And the 2 times that we've seen Simon win this year, he's just felt dominant. He's felt like his putting looks great. And it just feel like it's going well for him. And then his play, I don't know, just kind of the IQ of doing what he did on hole 16, I think was awesome. And it was cool to see. It was definitely out of the ordinary. It's not something that we're going to see at every single tournament. I think it's a flaw on that hole. If you're having an island hole, Matt and I were talking about this pre-show. If you have an island hole like that, especially a par 3, any drive that goes OB should go to the drop zone so you can avoid something like this. And I bet you more than likely on the Pro Tour, every single island hole, because of what Simon just did, will turn into that to where every single drive goes to the drop zone. But he had the opportunity to do it.
Or make the island, which would be unfortunate, but way bigger, because you don't want to give someone a 10-foot putt. That's really, what it comes down to.
Yeah. So you'd have to, on that hole specifically, you would move the basket a little bit more or clear a little bit behind it. Yes.
90-foot or 100-foot island, like circle, it's not as easy of a, hey, I'm not just grabbing a 3. You could. Maybe people try it, but you might be able to get the 3 easier playing it traditionally. I just want to say in the last minute here before we call Own is, does it appear to anybody else, the chat, Nick, Ben, Evan, anybody, if you can get Simon to a 3rd or a 4th round in contention, then you have to, the field has to worry. And the reason is if Simon's not in contention, had 2 significantly poor round in a 4-round event, and he makes it to 3rd and he really doesn't have much to push, he's going to play. I'm not saying he's not going to play well even, but I don't know if his heart is there. He's just like, I'm out here because it's my job. But when you get him in contention, he's like, it's working. And he's like, now I just keep playing my game. It seemed, and I hate to say it, but super effortless. Now, if you're in his eyes, he said there was a few times where he was sweating or whatever, nervous. But from the eyes of the fans, at least my perspective, it looked effortless. It was like, man, if we can get him to these contention rounds, then people have to worry.
Well, I think he's been playing for so long. Obviously, he's been playing just way longer than any of us have been playing. And if you remember, Music City Open was a chase card victory. And throughout the first, I think it was 11 holes of that event or 10 holes of that event, he was just picking up a couple birdies here and there. He wasn't doing anything flashy. And then all of a sudden, he ended with 6, 7, or 8 birdies in a row, whatever it was, to eventually win the tournament. And he did all of it what looked like effortlessly. I had a front row ticket to it, and shots were just, massive spike hyzers 450 feet over trees. He was putting to 15 feet and then just banging the putt. And obviously he's still nervous on that 15 footer, but at the same time, everything looked like it was clicking. And I think we saw that again this weekend, to where when Simon is playing well, Simon is one of the best players in the world. The only thing that we don't say oh yeah, Simon's a top 5 in is his forehand. You could maybe even make the argument with putting, but when he's on, he's on. But backhanding, he's got impeccable form. He's a very, very smooth player. He throws putters very well, but he also throws distance drivers very well. And I would say he's one of the better power throwers at disking down and finessing shots in certain situations. But we're also talking about someone who is battling an injury. Same thing. Another injured player who he doesn't get to throw those power forehands anymore. Same thing with Eagle. So yeah, like I said earlier, Simon Lizotte being on top, it's an awesome thing to see. And the way that they made the course this year, adding so much more OB, changing up a couple of the holes, different pin locations, awesome. And to see him come out on top of it, even more awesome.
Totally awesome. I agree. Congratulations. And we do have Ohn Scoggins lined up in the green room here. Ohn, before we get to you officially, can you hear us? Okay, awesome. Perfect. So we do have Ohn in the green room. Let's go ahead and get her in here for a fantastic interview to congratulate her on her play as well. So without further ado, we don't often do phone call interviews. There you go, man. That worked out perfect. Oh, my God. Funky on screen, but welcome to the show, Ohn. How are you doing? And thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So this is a big win, and we can tell it's big for you by the way you reacted after receiving the award of finishing the tournament in first place. What does a win like this mean to you in your disc golf career?
Oh, man, I could not sleep for 2 nights because I'm so nervous. I just, so many thousand thing in my head, you know, because that means a lot to me. So, yeah, it's everything I want for, you know, everything I needed. I dream of it. So, yeah, it means the world.
Fantastic. And when COVID came around, the pandemic, I think we interviewed you back then, and you said that was kind of what kickstarted you to decide to be full-time. Did you know then that this opportunity to win a big event like this was in your future?
Oh, no. On that time, I just was like, you know, just why not? Now I have a lot of time, so why not just come back and play? But I didn't know I'm going to be this far of this is going to be my career, you know, so I have no idea. So on that time.
All right. Worlds is right around the corner. You have a significant win that you just wrapped up with. You came out of, I'm brain freezing, Mid-America Open. And your performance was great there as well. How do you feel about the courses up at Smuggler's Notch, Fox Run, and Brewster Ridge? Are you excited? Or are you nervous? How do you feel?
Man, I have a mixed feeling, you know, but most of the time I have a very exciting to play. I cannot wait to practice. I cannot wait to see what I can do out there. But also, like, I know it's gonna be hard. You know, I played last year and it was so tough. Sometimes I play good there. Sometimes I just like went down south, you know. So I have a mixed feeling, but overall, I have a very good feeling. Like maybe I should do better than last year. Yeah.
Oh, I just want to make sure you can hear my microphone. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah, of course.
perfect. Yeah, sometimes the phone call stuff. Anyways, recent success at the Great Lakes Open. You obviously just won the tournament, and last year you got second place at this event. And we consider this tournament a more open style course, kind of a bomber's dream to go out to a place like this. And you found back-to-back years with incredible success. What is it about this course that's just allowing you to play to what you could say is some of the best of your capabilities?
I feel like this course you have to play smart. Mm-hmm. You need to make plan where you want to land, what your upshot's gonna be, and you have to read the wind and use the right disc and everything. Like everything have to come together. You know, like putting, driving, know your disc very well, know how to use this in the right time, right place, and of course, like, you know, not go OB. I feel like this weekend I'm not go OB much. That's why I feel like I get a lot of stroke from people because it's windy. The first couple of days was so windy, so people OB a lot, and we have a hard time for putting. Yeah, so play smart, and if you play smart and putt well, you'll get top 5 up there. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you're giving us the recipe, or giving your competition the recipe. I don't think it's a secret. You talked about not throwing out of bounds. From my perspective, I feel like I observe how you did that. But from your gameplay, what does it take to keep it in bounds? Is it the overstable forehand, or what is it that worked for you?
Because when the headwind, I throw all overstable disc. So I can throw in the OB line and it will come back, and I know my disc gonna come back, and you know, throw max weight is help a lot. Max weight overstable, you know, and then some of the hole, like hole 3, I always throw a rock 3. I know my disc not gonna go far and OB to the left much, you know, so it's just gonna keep straight. And so I think just only the last round, I think I go OB just like an inch. So because I keep it a little bit high, if I throw lower, it will just save, you know, my drive. So pretty much, I think overall, I think I have less than five or 6 OB per whole week. That's little compared with a lot of people. So I feel like somehow it's good to just throw, you know, putter or rock 3 or whatever mid range, not throw a driver out of the dangerous hole, you know. So you can go like far, but if you go OB, it doesn't matter. For me, I just throw a shot, but I can birdie in the long like par 5 because I just not OB, you know. So
I have a follow-up question to that, because I think your success, as you said, overstable discs in the wind, confidence, knowing where they were going to fly. Just out of curiosity, I don't see it often, but do you ever go to an understable hyzer flip disc? Is that in Ohn's game at all?
Not much.
Okay.
I can throw if I have to, and I'm not bad about it too. You know, I can throw like understable hyzer disc. You know, I throw my leopard 3. You know, it worked well if I have to do. It's not that bad at all. But I'm just not doing it often. So because I have a lot of sidearm, also I can use sidearm. But like I said, if I have to do, I can do also pretty good. Also, yeah.
Well, you are fantastic. I wasn't trying to pick holes in your game. It's just I think your consistency right now is extremely high, and it's going to be hard for anybody to beat you. So congratulations on that again. Nick, what do you got?
Going into the final round, I think you were walking into that final round with a 6-stroke lead, ultimately winning the event by 2 strokes and, you know, shooting, I think, 4 down that final round. What was your game plan going into it?
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous. I'm too nervous. I should not, because you know it's final round, and I should just do my normal game. I'm just kind of like too nervous. I miss like couple putt when I should not. You know, like inside the circle. Normally, I should make that pretty often, but because I was so many things in my head, so I'm just kind of like not. Sometimes I just almost like not focus, and I kind of miss a short putt. Like one of them was like 23 feet or 20 feet. The other one was almost 30 feet, so I missed 2 birdie putt, and then I went OB in hole 3. Normally I'm not OB on that one, but I win it, you know. And somehow and then also like Ella just played so good in the last round. Like she shot a hot round, and you know it's nervous, something to do with me. And then it's like I said, it's hard to focus because you just think so many things in your mind, like, oh, can I hold it? Can I, you know, what's going to happen, you know? But thank God, you know, overall, for the last hole, I was like up by 4. And I went OB. I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to lay up. I'm not going to try to make this putt because I don't want to make the putt and then maybe hit some kind of part of the basket and roll OB, so that's gonna be bad. So I'm just laying up and let her have 4 stroke on me on the last round. Is no problem for me, you know. So I just want to win so bad. I don't care like I don't care like I have to have a 5, 6, or 7 stroke on her. Doesn't matter on me. The matter is I have to win this one. So
as long as you win by 1 stroke, that's all that matters.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for reiterating that. I have said it so many times. All you got to do is win by 1. You just got to be 1 stroke better than second place. No.
I don't care. Big face like, oh, I need to win by a lot. No, even by one, I will take it all day long.
Exactly. Now, this is your biggest win in the FPO division, but you've also had some massive wins in FP40. How does this feel different compared to your FP40 world titles or your FP40, or excuse me, now your FPO win? What is the difference in kind of mentality and mindset in those tournaments?
Well, that one was like, of course, it's very different because I don't have much competition out there, and in 40, you know, because I have like 3 or 4 very good players out there, but compare that just only 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But this one was like we have like 34 ladies compete with me. They're all good. They all like can win. So it's way different feeling because anybody can pull off and win, and if you're not play solid like in 4 rounds, like there's no way you're gonna win. So that's why it means a lot, and it's for me. I'm 42, and it's hard for like people like have age like me to win like this big win. You know, I'm not talking about world or pro tour championship, but this one is big for me.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have been like dream to win even one pro tour, and it's so hard for everyone. I see a lot of people play for so many years, they still not win yet one. So that's why it means a lot to me, and I hope in the future this is not my last one. So I hope to get somehow here and there next year too. So
I can't imagine it would be.
Yeah. Ohn, we have a live chat going right now that's commenting on the love they have for you. We've seen it all over the internet. People are comparing right now that if Kristen Tatar was there, that would have been a battle for the ages. People are putting you at that level right now. What does that mean to you?
Oh man, here's the thing. I cannot compare myself to Tata. She's a world champion. I'm pretty sure like if she's here, she will beat me pretty good.
Oh, come on.
She will get me by like 14 strokes. That's why I said, Tata, thank you so much. I was like, when I saw like is her name not here, I'm like, oh, thanks, Tata. Let's stay over there. I think she's just so nice. Like, okay, I want Ohn to win this one.
Oh, well, I don't know. You're too nice, Ohn. You're too nice. I was trying to set you up for that big compliment, but I didn't know how you'd respond. Evan, before we toss it to you, are there any cool stats that you'd like to share? Or should we ask a few more questions?
Well, Ohn, you were the 8th different FPO winner from an elite or major event this season. That's the most of all time, beating out 2022 with 7. Is it cool to be part of that group? And what does that say to the FPO division as a whole?
Oh man, you know, it's good feeling. Like I just want to show a lot of people, like, doesn't matter even your age, even you're older 40, you can do it as long as you put heart and soul, hard work on it. Everybody can do it. Even you're 60, you still can win everything. You know, just keep practicing. And, you know, I want to show people it doesn't matter you're 14, 13, 20, any kind of age. Just put hard work on it. Everything you put hard work and soul on it, you will succeed. Everything you do. So that's why.
Wow. Yeah. Any others, Evan?
I mean, you can give me a second if you want to go,
fine.
But I think that's all I had off the top of my head.
You are very recognizable for your putting. People know that. That's fantastic. People say Missy Gannon has a great putt. The putt is often what drives players to the next level. Once they get their drive, it's head and shoulders above the rest. How are you learning and excelling at your disc golf game? Are you watching footage of other players? Are you just having someone else watch you? Do you video yourself? How are you getting better?
I'm getting better by just practicing. I'm not watch myself when I play, or I'm not watch on a lot of what you call
footage,
disc golf video much. Yeah, footage. I'm not watch much because I just out of the field and just go to the course and practicing. Even my husband, I'm not even ask my husband much to like video me, and then I can watch myself. I'm like, it's just so embarrassed to watch myself. I have a very bad form, so I cannot stand my form. When I see the videos, I, oh my God, please, I cannot see myself. Like, it's just so ridiculous. But but I feel like it doesn't matter, even you have a bad form, whatever, as long as you keep practicing, you will always improve your game. You don't need to have a very beautiful form. As long as you put hard work on it, I feel like everybody can improve the game, and keep practicing, because I putt every day. I putt like 400-500 putt a day. It's ridiculous, you know, how much work I put on it. And sometimes I play 2 rounds every day. Sometimes I play at least I play every day. Like I don't have day off. Today is my day off, but it's some kind of like day off, but I haven't dry all day today. So, and then tomorrow when I arrive at the Smoggins course, I'm looking for like 2 round practice, and after that putting. So, it's crazy. Like I said, you don't need to have a beautiful form, or if you have beautiful form, great, because I'm so jealous of that. But as long as you put practicing, you'll be good. Yeah.
Ohn, where does your positivity come from? So many people comment on it about just, I guess, your good sportsmanship, the relationship it looks like you have with other FPO competitors on the field, even during competition. Where does your positivity and your good sportsmanship come from?
Come from when I'm little. I grew up in Laos. I have nothing. I grew up in a poor family. I have no toy. I have no money. The toy or game, I have to make it on my own hand. You know, I just play whatever outside at the field, whatever natural provide me. Like I said, I've been through a lot of my life. I come from nothing. So when I been to this position, for me, it's just, wow, what a world give it to me. You know, what a lucky life I have. That's why I've been through a lot, and then I learned to appreciate everything around me, like appreciate people. I know everybody out there working so hard. I see those ladies was like on and off the course. They practice so hard. For me, it will be so rude if I'm not sharing them, because I know I have a hard work, and they are also hardworking. They want to win just like me. That's why when I see them throw good, putt good, and I want to share them, because I know like how hard they want to win, how much mean for them. You know, they want to win also. So that's why I'm just gonna share them until my voice is gone. You know, whatever. Like I just love to see them play good also. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know what to say except wow. The chat absolutely is loving that answer, as so are we. I don't know fully how to respond, but I will say it is exciting to see it. I have 2 more questions. I don't know if Nick has another one here, or Ben or Evan, but one is, do you feel like your disc golf game is set, meaning like you don't want to change too much? Are you happy with your game right now? I know you said practice, like that's always important. But is your game pretty much set? I mean, mentally, and maybe, again, how you throw. Are you changing anything?
I would love to learn more about hyzer, like a pattern pending. That's, I think, my Anheuser, and then, you know, like a pattern pending. I'm kind of like weak about that, but I feel like as long as I keep practicing. Last year, I was so bad about it, but this year I practice more, and I feel my game like more improved. And of course, backhand roll, that thing is so hard. But anyway, I feel like it's still a lot of things I can learn and then improve my game more. I believe like the more I play, the more I practice, the more my game gonna getting better and better. Like I feel like I can improve my game more, even, you know. Like, I cannot wait to see. You know, maybe some tomahawk here and there.
Nice.
And then, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I think that's it.
Kevin Jones grenades, maybe. I mean, we could see everything out of Ohn Scoggins.
Oh, man, he's good. He's good.
All right. Last question from me, and I'll pass it over to any other closing questions here. But the chat wants to know, what were you drinking out of the trophy?
Oh, Oh, beer.
Yes. Do you have a
I put the
favorite beer?
on it. Yeah, and some of the local, I said, because after when I'm done, it was like, oh my God, I want beer because it's so mentally, it's so mental. Like I'm so relaxed after when I put it down, and then the people just like, hey, I have beer for you. So my fan just like, I have beer for you. I say, great, can I have one? And then I put on that my trophy and I just drink of it. I'm like, why not? I want to celebrate and I hope everybody understands. Sorry if somebody not drinking out there. I'm sorry if I'm bad out there. But I'm a little sip here and there. It's okay.
Ohn, I think most people are cheering for you and they're super excited. Nick, Evan, Ben, any final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, I'll finish up with one kind of small one. Is this was the first playoff event of the 2023 season, and you were able to win it in the FPO division. Does this event feel like a little bit more than, let's say, an Elite Plus event or a regular Elite Series event? Like, do you feel like the tournament director and the staff that's at this place is what's different about this event than other ones?
It just feels special because it's payoff. It's playoff, and this is the first time we played tournament is playoff, and it's only 35 women can get in. It's not like everyone can get in. So it's kind of special because Leicester and Ottawa, you can see like 40, 50 people out there, but this one is just like only 35. And doesn't matter, you have money, you want to get in, if you're not qualified to this tournament, you cannot. That's why it's very different. It feels amazing to win this one. And everybody on top 35 they are earn it. They earn the spot to be up there, and they are all good. So that's why it's very special.
All right.
Fantastic. Evan, Ben, anything?
Yeah, I'll finish it up with this, or at least if Ben's not going to say anything. But I want to look at the last 12 events from all PDG events for you. You have a elite win right here. You have a silver win. You have 2 FP40 majors. Your worst finish is 4th place at Beaver State. So that's 11 podiums in your last 12 events across all PDG events. And that starts with Innova Blue Ridge Championship back in April. You're on this historic stretch. You're playing the best disc golf rating wise at elite and majors of your career. Does it feel like you're not even yet at your peak in your disc golf career?
Not yet. My peak, I would, of course, everybody dream of world, if I win world or if I win Pro Tour Championship or whatever. But hey, this is for this moment. This is my peak time at Great Lake Open. This is my peak time, but for sure, if I win World or Pro Tour, that's going to be the best of the best feeling on top of the world on that one. But thank you for reminding me about, was that 11 podium, whatever you call?
Yeah.
I not even, know about it. I feel like it's just so, everybody can be a good disc golf, but it's so hard to be consistent good. And everybody work hard on it, and me is the one of them too. I want to be consistent good, and I know that's the hard part of be a good golf. But like I said, everything come off from the hard work, and I feel like if you put heart and soul on it, you can do everything. And I feel like if I just keep doing it and work hard on it, I feel like I should achieve my goal one time. I don't know when, I don't know what year, but hopefully it can be bigger than this in the future. So
Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome. We are so grateful that you took our call tonight. When you call somebody, sometimes they don't answer, but you answered our phone call. We thank you very much for that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a thing in disc golf where we ask how people can support you. Is there a special way that you'd like to let people know to support you? Is it just buying a special disc, or are there other ways? What can people do?
Support my tour series, or if you see me face by face, don't shy to ask me, because I always have my tour series disc with me, and welcome to like support my this from me, because that's money will go towards me like 100%. And you know, like just come and ask me like, hey, Ohn, do you have your tour series for sale? I'm like, hell yeah, I have.
Hell yeah.
So don't shy. And then if you want like me to sign this picture, I'm happy to doing it. I will do everything for my fan. Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Spectacular. I don't think I've ever introduced myself in person. I don't think I have. I would remember it, I'm sure. So when you make it up here to MVP Open, I hope to catch you and say hi in person. So thank you again for coming. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I'll find a tour series disc that works for me.
Exactly. You just all you got to do is just ask Ohn for it.
That's
Ohn,
right.
what do you have right now? Do you
Yeah,
have,
just ask me.
you have the Leopard 3, and I think you got what Mid America? Didn't you get a Halo Destroyer? Am I right to say that?
I hope so, man. I mean, depend on Innova people.
Yeah.
Innova, you should heard a lot of people ask, right? So hopefully they decide to give me one.
Yeah.
We'll see in the future.
No, it'll be awesome.
All
Right?
right. All right. This is very cool. I appreciate your time and your phone call and the fact that you're traveling and getting ready for Worlds. We're rooting for you. And as you mentioned, everyone's going for it, Ohn. But you're right now showing how strong you are in the field. So keep it up, and we'll talk to you another time.
Thank you so much.
All
I
right.
really appreciate it.
Take
Okay,
it easy,
have a
Ohn.
great evening.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That was Ohn Scoggins. I'm sure you already knew that if you listened to the whole interview.
I should have known. Like I should have known to say this during the interview, but Ohn Scoggins now leads the United Series points, which I mean, make it what you
extra
want.
money.
Like some
Yeah.
people are going to care about it, some people are not.
Yeah.
Top three get a payout at the end, and we have Ohn Scoggins, Missy Gannon, and Ella Hansen in third place for those point standings. So very cool to see. Of course, Worlds counts and MVP Open, and I believe that's it.
I think that's
might
it.
need to brush up
Yeah.
on that. So
yeah, the only people that are upset, and it is what it is. We've had the conversation. It's actually been nice that it hasn't had to been the focus of it. But people that are upset are that there quote has to be a United Series. But I don't think anybody's going to be too upset when they win the prize. They're like,
No.
you know what? We'll just take
Like,
it
oh, you're
because
gonna
it
give me an
is.
extra $5,000.
Yeah, I mean,
okay,
if it's here, I guess I'll
gosh.
take it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see some interesting things come out of that.
Okay.
Someone takes it, returns it. I don't know what would
You
happen.
could.
But
Yeah.
anyways,
I don't
so
want to cover such an awesome interview with that kind of talk, but Ohn Scoggins, incredible, just super fun person, very energetic on the disc golf course. I really, it's so funny because when you're a competitor, you think of these professional athletes as like stone cold killers when they're in their sport. You know, they are so hyper driven, they're focused, and Ohn is, played so incredible this weekend, but she's also cheering for every single other shot that her competitors are throwing. And she's getting hyped up when people are making big putts. She's getting hyped up for big drives and shots that she knows she doesn't do as well as these other females. And I don't know, you just have this happy-go-lucky person, super energetic and just kind of high on life, and really talking about her, growing up, and she came from nothing, and now she's blessed she made $10,000 throwing a Frisbee this weekend. It's crazy what your life can take you one day. I mean, some people become lawyers, some people become doctors. She became a pro disc golfer. She's 42 years old and just made $10,000 to play 4 rounds of disc golf, which is just, it's cool. And she, I don't know, is just high on life with it. Which is awesome.
That was really fun. I'm so glad we got her tonight for that phone call. We will line up phone calls when it makes sense for the player if they're not available otherwise. And this situation worked out great. The audio, we'll fix it for the post audio. I think it might have been a little loud at first, but all that being said, we're moving into something special here. So a little exciting hype up.
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to reveal the massive MVP Open giveaway. Now, if you go to our YouTube channel right now, we're at 9,972 subscribers. What is that? 28.
28 off.
28 off. I mean, there's probably enough right now that aren't subscribed in our live show right now to do it. Can we do it? I think we can do it.
If you're not subscribed, go subscribe. Maybe we'll hit the 10K in the next, couple of minutes that Matt is talking about this.
If we do,
Here's the deal.
If we hit 10K, if we hit 10K in the next 2 minutes of Matt talking about this, I will ship out 5 of my discs, my fundraising discs. I'll give a random subscriber 5 discs.
Literally 28 subscribers.
28 subscribers. That's all we need. And one of you guys can win 5 discs absolutely free of charge.
Okay. And here's why. I'm going to be open and transparent with our
I'll take a
audience.
hot chip.
Oh my goodness. So here.
No, I won't.
No.
Hot
No,
chip,
I won't.
let's do it.
No, I won't.
Stop.
No, I won't.
don't have the hot chips. We would have gotten it right then if you had said hot chip. I have hot sauce that's just as bad.
No.
Oh, Nick's not down for that either.
I don't know. You got a
Nick,
gallon of milk?
for the subscribers.
You got a gallon of milk upstairs?
There should be milk up
If
there.
you got a gallon of
Gallon
milk,
challenge?
yeah. No, I'm saying I
Ice
need
cream,
the milk to
Tabasco.
kill the hotness.
Make Matt eat a chip.
Yeah.
I'll eat a really hot chip if we get 10,000.
Yeah, that's not
like
that's
I have
not,
like really hot sauce.
That's,
So that's
not
hot.
fun though because Matt
No, it'll
enjoys
be-
these things. Matt,
Yes.
Matt eats
It's a
hot
different-
sauce.
it's a
literally,
different beast.
You know,
He likes
it's on
to
one
tear
chip
up from this
sometimes.
stuff.
I mean, it's on
Whoa.
what's that hot chip?
Ones.
Hot ones. Thank you. It's on there. It's the Mad Dog Inferno.
Yeah.
We also have the bomb. Anyways, if we get to 10,000, we
should
can do
a
that.
hot ones.
But here's the thing. I'm going to keep. Okay, we got one more. We got one. Now we're 27 away. We're on a roll now. But here, I'm going to be open and transparent with our show. We always are. I mean, sometimes we'll know things that we can't talk about.
Yeah.
But like, if it's something that like we can talk about, we'll be open and transparent. The event organizers for the MVP Open, Steve Dodge, reached out and said, "Hey, we need to know who you're giving those away to. Like, we're getting close to like the event." And they need to coordinate and all the events amenities that they're getting to do and everything along with that. And any winner who might have had to travel for this award needs a heads up.
Yeah.
And so at this point, it is still the 10,000 subscriber giveaway, but we aren't waiting until we hit 10,000. Earlier, before the show, we flipped a coin between 2 very standout contestants, as I'll put it. Our rules all along were let us know you're here, let us know you're watching, share the love for the Nick and Matt show, help us get to 10K. There was a lot of you, but 2 really stood out. I'm not gonna give the runner up their name right now. Be like, yeah, you just run. No,
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: it was very close. We had to flip a coin. We flipped a coin and shout out. I'll give a live shout out on air for this winner. It goes to drum roll. Do we have a drum roll? That was pretty good. That's pretty good. The winner. Why can't I find it? It's gonna take me a second here to find it. That was really exciting. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Okay. Drum roll was a silent drum roll, but here we go. More music. Going to James, and I think you say Gerhardt. It could be like Gerhardt, but it's probably Gerhardt. James Gerhardt, a listener, subscriber of the Nick and Matt show, went well above and beyond and is the winner of 2 tickets to the MVP Open experience valued at $2,200. I will tell you, we let James know, and he is ecstatic. I won't read his private messages, but he is ecstatic. Him and his friend.
Can we say
have
where
our-
they're from? You think?
Yeah, sure. It's
So-
like not like address
No,
number.
no, obviously not. But it's really cool because, this is such an incredible event. And what Steve Dodge, this package that he's put together, I think would make anyone's, even if I went to the event, I'm 5 minutes away at my parents' house right now. And this would be such an incredible experience for me winning like VIP tickets or whatever.
This
They're-
is beyond VIP.
Yeah, they won all the way from Texas. They're
Yeah.
literally flying up from Texas, room and boarding up here, hanging out, and they're going to get the full experience of the MVP Open, which is just absolutely incredible. And it's cool that, we were able to partner with the MVP Open presented by OTB Discs
Very cool.
on all of this.
Very cool. And I mean, I'm excited that we're so close to 10,000.
Yeah.
He helped with that.
Yeah.
I will give the shout out. Wyatt Mahoney, 13-year-old,
Yeah.
up in our neck of the woods, above and beyond.
Mhm.
All the love in the world, man. It came down to a coin toss.
They had some of the funniest Instagram posts of just, like, welcome to it was like Nick and Cat show. or something.
Incredible.
They-
Go
they
follow
just-
him on
yeah,
social
they were-
media.
they were
13-year-old
awesome.
professional,
Yeah.
soon to be 1,000 rated, incredible player. We are now 24 away, Nick. If we get, and I'm serious, I don't know if Ben's down for this because he did it before, and Evan can't even be a part of this unless he has some crazy hot sauce.
Nope.
So it comes down to either me or Nick or Ben. If we get to 10,000 before the show's done, we'll do some amount. Like, I'll be nice to Nick. We'll pick how
Of,
much
like,
he gets.
the
Hot sauce, yeah.
Oh, I don't even know if 10K is worth it for me. That's like my whole night is gonna get ruined from that.
It will be after, like at the end of the show. It won't be like in the middle of it.
I don't know if I could do
Dude,
it live on air.
We're gonna get. Look,
guys
now
would
we're
see
down
me
to
cry.
23.
Yeah, I don't think I can do it.
Ben, are you
I
in?
think for Nick, you need to
I
get a
already
whole.
did it.
It's not the one chip. It's hot
Oh.
sauce.
Oh yeah, I can do hot sauce.
Like Mad Dog.
Sure.
Okay.
If they do it on,
What do you put the hot
I
sauce
can
on?
taste the
So
hot
just
sauce
go on to
right
like
now.
a tostito, like a
or the wing.
tortilla.
Let's do a wing. Come on.
I don't have wings.
Wait, are we gonna do it today?
Like it'd be
Yeah.
at the end of the show if
Oh.
we get there.
Yeah, Matt wants to do it live
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's
We can
funny.
do that.
People are unsubscribing.
and just
Now
resubscribe.
we're back. Now we're down to 25.
Oh,
We're at
really?
like 23.
Damn.
Now people
Thank
are
you,
like,
people.
Yeah,
I
they're,
appreciate it.
they're like,
You
we
guys
don't
are my
want Nick.
friends.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do.
We
the
don't
hot
want
sauce.
to. We don't want to put Nick through the
Dude,
suffering.
it's a battle
We all
down to
have
the
to
end of
do
the
it.
show.
Yeah.
Nick's
I'm
like, please,
rooting
people.
for my own
Yeah.
show's failure.
It's like one away, and people just keep ticking it down.
If we
I'm
all do it, I'm
unsubscribed. If we
in.
get to one away. I'm unsubscribing.
Okay.
If we all do it, I'm in.
Okay. Well, okay, we're back
Look,
to
I think it's
24.
just you.
We
Ben.
have to.
I'll tell
right.
you this: if we hit 10K subscribers tonight, I'll do it.
Yes.
Someone's
You'll
got to buy
do
me
Look at
pizza.
that.
Someone's got to buy me pizza later, though.
Got a frozen
The
pizza.
super chat will.
No, I would do it.
All right, bet. Let's do it.
Well-
Get us to 10K.
All right, so let's continue on. We're back to 23 subscribers short. Okay. We'll check back in a minute. Keep that going. We'll check back. We have a lot of fun to talk about, like things to talk about. We got other, all different stuff to talk about. We did the giveaway. I'm excited that happened. That's massive. Like that value of that giveaway. They're going to be flying out here, staying here. We may see them in studio that Monday night.
Yep.
I invited them out
Yeah.
if they came a day early. They're excited. They get
Yeah,
to play the
depending on
course
what
with it full assets out and everything, plus like all the other experiences. Anyways, okay.
Very cool.
Very cool. I have a segment that we did a long time ago. If you're like an original, I want to say somewhere in the first year, you'll remember this. I used to say, and I couldn't find the intro and all that stuff, but it used to be like internet disc golf questions that, like, you remember? It was like
Yeah.
people on the internet asked these questions and like we found them and we're like,
Yep.
let's answer their questions. So this first one is not a great like tone setter for this segment, but let's get into it. This was an anonymous question in a group. I'll shout out the group because we're stealing the questions, but it was disc golf discussion.
Ooh.
There's a few of these, but this one has thousands of people in it, disc golf discussion. And they said, a cat peed in my disc golf bag.
Oh.
And after washing everything, my discs still smell like cat piss. I knew Ben would like this. What's my best option for removing the smell? Intern Ben, what would you do?
Honestly, I would. This might be a little controversial, but to remove the cell, I would just chop up a bunch of onions, throw it in there, and make the bag smell like onions instead.
No, it doesn't work. That's gonna smell worse.
Okay,
Do I have to try to remove the smell, or can I just burn everything and
wash
get
your
new
machine.
stuff?
Then I don't really. Does tomato?
Would you though? Would
yeah,
you though? If
a
like
cat or a
your
dog-
disc and
if
it had your disc, your current tournament
Yeah.
disc golf bag, you would burn it.
Would tomato
or like
juice
get rid
work?
of it.
Tomato sauce. Isn't that what you do
Like
with
for
skunks?
yeah.
Yeah.
I would take out each disc. I would let them sit somewhere like outside, and maybe
Like in the sun.
yeah,
just
the
like
sun or
bake.
like like wet grass if it rained, like whatever. Like I obviously wouldn't want to do all those things, but at that point I would just if they still smell awful, I would get rid of them 100%.
Every time you go to throw.
There's not a single disc in my bag that I love that much. Like I've got one of 50 Crystal Raptors. Those things, they'd be in the I mean, I would probably still sell that.
That's what
one.
I'm saying.
But,
Yeah, you sell it in
I would say
You sell it.
condition 3 out of 10 smells like cat piss. But I think
Somebody will buy it.
Someone would still buy it, dude. Because someone would put it in a case. Someone would put it in a case, and then the smell wouldn't escape the case. But yeah, dude,
One day they open it, it's like psh, like
Yeah.
an airlock. Psh, It's like, no.
I stepped in dog crap one time and I, washed my shoes like 3 or 4 times. Could not, and these were like expensive, good white shoes that I really like.
You threw them away?
Oh, I threw them right out, dude. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I actually threw them into a fire. I was so pissed off. Because one of my biggest pet peeves is going somewhere and stepping in dog poop because someone didn't clean up their dog's poop.
That is bad, right?
That is bad. Dude, it is one of my biggest pet peeves. That grinds my gears. If you can't take the 30 seconds to pick up your dog's crap, don't own a dog. Like,
I'm laughing because I have so
Golly.
many funny memories, and I hope my brother, who listens to most of these episodes, he'll text me when he hears this.
Yeah.
He has some stories where he's done it like twice in the same yard, and it was like, are you kidding me?
Someone did it in my girlfriend's driveway when she was living in Lynchburg, and their dog crapped in the driveway. And so when I went to open the passenger side door because we were going out to dinner, I literally sloshed into it. And one of my favorite pairs, like
my goodness,
most of my shoes.
White pants.
My favorite shoes. Like I wear these white Adidas shoes. These are my favorite pairs. They're
nice.
comfy, and I wear a lot of black, and so it kind of matches well. And I remember this was kind of a newer pair, still had cleanliness to them, and I was so agitated.
Apparently,
just
the answer is hydrogen peroxide. The chat let us know.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean, if it actually works, I'm not going to test the theory.
Well,
I'm not going to test the theory of letting one of my cats pee into my bag and make my disc smell, but I believe you.
I think we should have a punishment on our show where someone else pees on your bag. Then we have to
my
like,
goodness, no,
Or we
no,
all
too far,
too far.
We all
Evans
do
says
it.
too far.
We all pee on the
I'll-
loser's bag.
No, I'm
The
out.
chat.
I'm
the
out.
chat.
Yeah.
Everyone in the
I-
chat.
that's
all right,
too much.
All right. So next one. Go ahead.
Okay,
Evan.
I would round this out by saying, like, one thing I learned about cat pee is when it happens, no matter what you do to clean it, the cat still knows it's there, and it's highly likely they'll do it
Wow.
again.
They
So
mark their territory.
if it's your cat and that cat is still around, you didn't get rid of it because of the scenario. I think the bag's toast. I'm with you, Nick. Like, just sell
Wow.
it. Tell people that there's cat pee in it. Try your best to clean it. Sell it.
3 out of 10 smells like cat.
Yeah.
We
Hydrogen
we
peroxide
took,
sounds awesome. The cat's still going to pee in it again.
We
Probably.
took that up a notch too high. I hope
I don't
everyone
know.
appreciates
Daniel's
it.
post comment was probably my funnest. He goes, "You have to pee on the bag first
That's
to
what I'm
assert
saying.
dominance."
That's what I'm saying. And we took it a little step farther than that. Okay.
Yeah.
2 more questions.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this one's cool. From the same group. All right. So if you were told before a round that there is a water hole with a drop zone. All right, guys, let's think about it. Maple Hill, hole 8. If you don't want to risk throwing over the water, you can take a 1-stroke penalty and proceed to the drop zone. Shouldn't the first shot from the drop zone be for a 2? That's the question. And the answer is,
If you lost the disc.
do you have to lose a disc, Ben, to be able to proceed to the drop zone? Or
Well,
can
he
you
needs
just
to. Okay, so
move there and say, hey, I'm just going to go to the
Yeah.
drop zone? And
So I think technically, if you want to argue that, I would argue that you still technically have to throw the disc. And so if you throw it 2 feet in front of you, there is one throw. And then
but
you
it would
take one
have to
stroke
go into the
penalty.
water, right?
No.
You can't throw
if
it just in front of you and pick it up and go to a drop zone.
Yeah, if it's an
Well, it
island.
depends where the OB is.
Oh,
Yeah,
if
depends
it's an
on where the
island.
OB.
Depends
Yeah,
where the OB is.
If,
I got you.
If it's an island,
Yeah.
then that is your one throw. You go to the drop zone. That's your penalty throw. So now you are.
But you're going to
still
make
throwing
someone
three.
throw it like in front of the tee pad
If
just
they
for
want to argue
official
saying
sake.
that they're
Okay.
throwing 2 on the hole, then yeah, I'm going to argue with
Yeah,
that.
why would you? I don't.
Yeah.
Why would they go for 2?
Yeah.
They're just saying that should be a new rule.
I don't know. I did hear
No,
some.
okay,
I
so-
get their thought though.
I get their
Because it's
thought.
not. Yeah, because you're not throwing, and that throw counts, and then you have a stroke to move it. So you're skipping the throw, and you're just using one stroke. I totally get their thought
Like, I
process
would
on
just say
that.
at that
That's
point,
not
all
how
right,
it
you're
works.
misplaying the
But-
T-pad then, and there's a stroke
but-
penalty as well. So now you're still throwing 3. Just
When I
kidding.
was starting out and you play a few courses with water, I would like happily, I'm gonna tell my friends who are, maybe a little bit worse than me at the time, at least, I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna throw here, but if you want to take it from the drop zone and not risk losing your disc, you can do it for 3. Like that was
Yeah.
a common thing we did for 3. I will say this too, it depends on the course too. Like you're playing Maple Hill, it's water, but oh man, there's some like average courses that shouldn't be throwing over water and just don't need to for the type of course they are, and they still want to throw over water. Ugh. You don't
Yeah.
need to.
Don't get a current
Have an alternate
started.
pin if you really have an alternate tee if you really want, but you don't need to do that.
My understanding is, and I'm not sure where to find this in the rules, so some can say, hey, you weren't planned, but these were a spur of the moment questions. So this is kind of just off the cuff. I'm pretty sure it's TD like prerogative, discretion. Like they get to say prior to a tournament round if that rule exists. Where I'm saying where you can just decide to go to the drop zone and take a 3. To Nick's point, if they don't say that, then yes, you can just toss into OB right in front and then walk up there. But if they say, listen, you don't even need to throw that funsy little shot, we'll let you go there for a 3. That I think is a TD discretion. I think.
If the final
Pretty
hole,
sure.
if the final hole of a tournament is a par 4,
Oh man.
okay, it's
Just
a par
throw and go
4.
to the
No,
drop
no, no.
zone.
So if the final hole of a tournament is a par 4, because I'm just trying to like bend the rules a little bit, and someone I could be completely wrong about this. If I'm up by 5 strokes, and I know realistically that this person cannot take a birdie on the hole, no matter what, they're going to take a 4. Can I just par plus 4 the final hole? Say, yeah, I don't really want to play it. Give me a par plus 4, so I take an 8.
No,
still win
because
by
you
1.
wouldn't finish.
So
I think that rule only works up till the finishing hole.
Really?
I think you
No.
have to hole out to win.
It's because it goes one way and not the other. You can start late, but you can't end early.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. It
Yeah.
can't be the last
Cool.
hole.
Good to know.
Yeah.
While
Yeah.
we're on a rules talk,
So if the Nick,
go
if
ahead.
the final round, if the hole 18 was totally fine and you knew you could do it, and you were up by 80 something strokes, and you knew that, like, maybe you're playing in some division where you're not playing the layout you're supposed
Yeah.
to, or maybe it's like MA 80 or something. Like I actually do wonder what's the scenario where, like, what if
Yeah.
it's a layout so hard? What if it, I'm throwing MA 80 under the bus. I mean, I'm sure some of them could whoop me, but in the scenario, MA 80 is playing Maple Golds, where par plus 4 might be a good score. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it is smart to be like, I'm gonna wait and show up on hole 18, and I might go 6 over, but you know,
Yeah.
the
Par
par
plus
plus
4,
4
yeah.
times 17, then 6 over is better. I don't think that scenario would happen, but I think you
So-
could do it that way technically.
So, okay, go ahead,
Some-
Nick. Then I have
someone-
another one.
someone on round 3 or 4, or it was a highlight of someone throwing an incredible shot, but they went to throw, and I almost want to say it was AB in round 2, where he threw this awesome on hole 8. It's the uphill drive where they made the right and left side OB. Your second shot has to go up and over this tree, Annie to the basket, whatever. And I'm pretty sure it was AB. And when he took his first step, because it was close to OB, he stepped on something, like a crab apple or like a small rock or something like that. He's like pretty far off his disc, and he kicked it out of the way. And you know that new stupid rule that we have right now is you have to be able to, it has to be
Yes.
in your stance.
It hasn't
whatever.
officially been changed.
It was funny because I saw that and I was like, oh, who's going to call AB on the stupid rule? And I'm saying AB because I think it was him. I'm not 100% sure. But it was just funny to me because obviously everyone sitting at home can see like, oh, it's not supposed to do that. I'm going to advocate. I think it's the dumbest rule in the world. Him moving that little rock, I think, is a perfectly fine thing to do. But anyways, it just, like I said, it was just funny to me.
So this also makes me bring up something that's not even in our show notes, which was someone else brought this up online, again, in a disc golf forum somewhere. I think it was, who was it? Ella? Somebody on, I want to say it was almost that same hole. It was on a hillside. They're all on hillsides.
Yeah.
Either way, missed like a 10-footer, and it rolled all the way down out of bounds, like 80, 90, 100 feet away. And Own's like, hey, you can just retake your shot with a penalty stroke from up there instead of OB down further away. And I saw somebody in a group who I think has a pretty good grasp of all the rules. And they're like, you shouldn't be penalized for retaking a throw. You should just count it as your next throw, because there would never be a real advantage. And I had to sit and think about this for a little while to choosing just to rethrow and being like, that's an advantage for me. And don't take a penalty stroke, just another shot. So like, if I throw a shot, I'm further down the fairway almost in every scenario. It's never going behind me. So to like retake my shot is a penalty in and of itself. It's almost like a double penalty to say like, hey, if you ever choose to rethrow, you have to take a penalty shot so then you can rethrow. Like, why?
I don't.
Why do you have to take a penalty shot to rethrow your previous
Because
lie?
if I miss a putt from 10 feet
Yep.
and I roll 100 feet down a hill to where it's OB, okay, so let's say shot number 2, or excuse me, my drive lands 10 feet from a basket. I'm putting for birdie, putting for 2.
Yep.
My disc hits the basket, rolls all the way down the hill. My next throw from 150 feet away now, not 10 feet anymore, 150 feet away, is for a 4.
All I'm saying is,
So now
that's
I
if
have
you
to-
went out of bounds.
I'm not making that.
You're saying
That's
if you went out of
if
bounds.
I went out of bounds, yeah. I'm not making that shot. I'm probably walking away with a
So
5.
you're not penalized in that scenario. See, you're just
I
like
am penalized. I
well,
just
you
rolled
got an
150
OB
feet down the hill, and I got an OB stroke. and
but
now
you
I'm
got
thinking,
to choose to stay where you were and reputt with the same exact score.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
there's no penalty there. It's like you already went out of
No,
bounds.
because from 150 feet away, I'm probably going to take a 5. If I retake that putt from 10 feet, I'm going to take a 4.
That's my point. So
Yeah.
it's almost like it's a prize. It's not a
But
penalty.
you're still getting penalized from, like, if I was to retake that shot and take a 3 in my I think that would be the dumbest thing in the world. Like, you would kill disc golf at that point. I think if you had that rule, because if I threw a drive on a hole,
Does golf allow you to retake a shot?
I would assume
With
with
a
a stroke
stroke.
penalty.
It is with a
would
stroke
assume.
penalty. Are we sure about that?
Because Matt, if
it's
I'm
the
playing
cost
a hole,
of moving it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is it doesn't matter if you go OB or not. Actually, that's what when you go OB, it's the
I
cost.
guess what
of
I'm
moving
saying
it.
is, and
is
maybe
really
this
what
is
the OB
super
stroke is.
hypothetical. But let's say I shoot a shot 150 feet in front of me. Okay. And it's fine in the fairway. Rethrowing my shot is a penalty. Just straight up because I'm further
It
back.
is like I get what you're saying. It is a penalty.
I'm gonna
but
tell you.
don't. It's the cost of moving it. So you threw it 150 feet. That's what happened. That happened. You can't change that happened. Now that you want to throw from the tee pad again, which yes is a worse scenario than throwing there for 1, you have to move that disc from 150 feet away back to the tee pad. You can't just magically get a different spot just because it is worse. You can't do that anywhere else. Like you have to move it.
Yeah.
Now I do advocate. I would love. It's a big rule change, huge rule change. I would love to see OB not be counted as a penalty and be a rethrow, but from your spot. If you ever go OB, have it always be whatever the bunker rule is. I've said this.
So,
I've been
so
standing on
that's
this for
like
a while.
essentially
Hole
what I'm
16
saying.
Hole 16 at
No.
D-GLO would be perfect for
saying just
MPO,
rethrow.
not FPO. But for MPO, it'd be perfect if it was you have to hit this gap and make the island. If you cannot do this, that stinks. That's what you have to do for this division. You have to be able to throw it 350 onto an island.
I could see
you
it.
have to be able to do that.
I could see it somewhat for specific holes, but if you were to take all OB and never actually play OB, like where the disc goes out of bounds, you're not getting penalized as much as you should be for throwing what is potentially a horrible shot. Like, I'm not saying every single OB shot in the world is horrible. Like, obviously rollaways happen and stuff like that, but when you throw a bad shot, you deserve to be penalized for a bad shot. And I kind of want to go back to this, picking up the disc where, you don't get the stroke penalty or whatever. If we have a course in Virginia called Mayflower Hills, and on hole 5 or 6, there's a ton of bamboo. And if I hit the basket on my 20-foot putt and roll all the way into the bamboo, if I'm allowed to re-putt that with no stroke penalty, I can just re-putt that shot and kind of like, if I'm putting for 3, now I'm putting for 4. Instead of having to walk into all that bamboo and hopefully get out in 2 shots from there, I would be livid because, yeah, I get it. Crap like that happens.
So in that scenario, this is weird, but are you hoping then that when you miss the putt, it rolls out of bounds? Because otherwise you have to walk down there and it's a wash. Like you're going to be like 90 feet not out
I
of
hope the
bounds.
shot doesn't go out of bounds at all.
But then you got to walk down there.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather take a 4 from, being inbounds the whole time than a 5 because it rolled out of bounds. Or what if I miss that putt again? Like,
That's my point. So if it rolls out of bounds, you're like, this was nice because now I get an easy shot.
It's a bonus if it rolls out of bounds.
Why do we have that rule
like that? On a hole like that, it helps out.
I think that's the point that's being made.
I think
here.
you could argue that the rule should be if now I'm trying to think if it rolls into water, and you
I'll say I don't think the rule
dumb.
needs to change. I think it plays perfect as is.
Yeah.
Not including my random other dream OB scenario.
Yeah.
As the rules are now, I think it's perfect. If you want to abandon your lie, which I believe it was Lucky Lorenzen actually in round 2, I think for FPO, and rolled. She was still inbound. No, she went out of bounds. But if she stayed inbounds, she still could have abandoned it and had the same exact placement where you take a stroke to move it. Yeah. Just like OB, you take a stroke to move it back to your previous lie. I think on the commentary, Terry said that it had to be OB in order to move it. That's not true. You can move at any point because it's abandoning your lie. It might have been how he was thinking of it, and I'm sure Terry knows that rule. It's not a knock on Terry, but just to be clear there if people were watching.
I want to see where this came from because I want to be clear. This is not my argument to be made, and we wouldn't have a good show if I wasn't doing a counter argument here. And I wanted to find where this actually came from so I could give not credit, but here's what it is. Taking a rethrow shouldn't even tack on an added stroke. Just count 1 for the bad throw, which is already a legit 1-stroke penalty. I expect to see that rule improvement happening within 3 years. This is somebody who I feel like
No.
Just saying. He goes on to say a rethrow is already a 1-stroke penalty. To rethrow your shot is a penalty. Straight up.
To take a better
You
lie
missed your
than-
shot. No, it's not necessarily better. It could be.
When are you taking a worse lie and saying I'm going to abandon that?
Yeah, but my point is if you're rethrowing, that's always worse. Like, it's not a good thing.
Not necessarily. If I throw into the woods where there's, a 1,000 things in front of it, and I'm like, hey, screw it, I'm going to throw 2 off the tee pad
right away
and then park it. Like,
now,
that would be horrible.
I do want to say this though, like I think this is a bad. I do not like this rule for the pro side of the game. I don't think it needs to happen in this question. I mean, we came it up from the putt at D-GLO. I'm thinking about it a little bit more. Like me, an amateur, Matt, you also an amateur, although better. It kind of makes sense. Like even maybe lower than us. You're learning disc golf. If you want to play by the rules, which I always did, even when I sucked even more than I do now, I always want to play by the rules. If it goes OB, I'm counting OB. But like it would be nice to kind of have that. Like it is a penalty, like you're saying, but it's a little bit more friendly. Golf of all forms is a hard game. Disc golf is hard. You get a lot of bad scores.
Yeah,
so
it would
having
change the
something where
game.
you can lessen the I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say with this phrase, but lessen that badness more. Oh my goodness, that's so bad.
It
But
would
people know what I'm
change
trying
the
to say.
game, absolutely. And just to final kind of wrap it out again, his final take is your missed shot is already the penalty. Like you threw it into the woods, it's like, dude, that's bad. That's a penalty. Rethrow.
Yeah,
and he's
you
like,
threw it into the
I have
woods,
to
you should
freaking
have to play
rethrow.
I'll give one last example.
That's according to how it is
It's
nowadays.
a casual mindset, and I respect that.
Yes.
Sure.
I'll give one last example, Matt. Okay, let's say you're showing me your backyard.
To be clear,
course
you're
here.
not actually trying to convince me, but
No,
for
but
the sake of the show,
for
let's
the
go.
sake of the show, and people, I don't want them to.
You're trying to
keep
convince me
arguing.
now.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I'm gonna
I'm on
keep
this side.
Okay, I'm going to convince Evan with this. All right, so say we're sitting at the back left, like where we park our cars at Matt's house.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a tee pad there now, and let's say I'm trying to play all the way into the woods, 400 feet away. If I grip lock my drive and somehow end by Matt's front door, I have no shot of getting anywhere close to putting on that hole. If I was able to see that really bad shot and go, oh, I'm just going to rethrow from the tee pad and park it, and I'm throwing 2 from the tee pad.
That's a penalty to throw 2 from a tee pad, though.
Okay, but let's think about this for a second.
You can't get the birdies.
The players
You can't
who have
get
a chance of
I could
grip
ace
On
it.
a par
locking
4, you're saying?
On a par 3, if it was like a 300-foot par 3.
Sure.
Yeah,
you
you
ace it for the
could
birdie.
still get the
But you're
birdie,
not-
which is a penalty.
Freak out.
Which is a penalty.
Freak out. If that was a rule in disc golf, I'd never play again. I'd be done.
Wait, let's
competitive
think
disc
about
golf.
Nick. The people who can park a 400 and whatever foot par 3 and the people who grip lock 90 degrees, the Venn diagram is 2 separate circles. They are not the same.
They are. I've witnessed 750 rated people do this to where they might throw the most incredible shot in the
750
world.
rated people aren't throwing 400 foot.
Yeah,
throws.
I have seen 700, 800 rated people throw 400 feet. Okay, Evan,
Probably.
let's make the whole
Not in
Evan.
the circle.
Let's make the whole 300 feet.
30 seconds.
Let's
We're
make it
wrapping this up.
30 seconds. We'll wrap it up. Evan, let's make the circle. Let's make the whole 300 feet. Same logic still apply. If I throw it 50 feet to my right, and then all of a sudden I throw a miracle shot and it goes in the basket, I'm birdieing it from the tee pad still. Like that is the dumbest
that's a crazy
shit I've
good
ever
shot.
heard.
Nice job.
Oh my
Nice job,
God.
Evan.
No.
300-foot
We
throw
got
it.
Nick all
You know what,
worked up.
screw it. Let's
15.
Oppenheimer
Let's give
Eagles,
Evan
though.
just
Let's
likes
give
to argue for no reason.
Let's give everyone a trophy in disc golf too. If I miscash an event, let's give them all trophies. Yeah, no. Let's stop making the game soft.
We can make it harder, Nick.
Evan just likes arguing.
Lotion up your hands before the throw.
No, I mean, D-GLO made D-GLO harder by adding in all that OB, and I think that was one of the most incredible changes.
Except for Simon, who just gamed it.
Yeah,
That's not
he gamed
harder.
it great.
Is that harder,
Ohn
Nick?
gamed it
Is
great.
that making the game easier? Just throw it out of bounds
No,
and be rewarded?
no, because he used a rule and did it the correct way.
He did. It's
He
not
did.
cheating.
No,
But do we
God,
need
no.
to change that rule?
Does anyone actually think he cheated on it? No,
Some
you
people
need to-
feel that
You
way.
need to change
It's
the
like-
rule on the T-pad. You need to say that all shots on this island hole go to the drop zone. So
There
that
you
don't
go.
have
So
that.
you do want to
This
change
is
the rule.
classic Bill Belichick right here. Like he
Yes,
plays
he
within
played-
the rules.
Simon played
kind of thinks
chess.
about it outside
Eagle
the
played
box, but then
checkers.
everyone calls it cheating.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are down to being 15 away from 10K.
What's really funny
It's going to
though,
happen
is-
Oh my
tonight for
goodness.
hot sauce.
I want to go back to hole 16 really quick. What's awesome about Simon doing that is he full send a driver and just ripped it over.
Never
There was
like, what
no.
Yeah.
That all he did was just throw a
It was
driver
awesome.
450 feet. It was
awesome.
hilarious
It
to
was.
watch.
It's like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
It was hilarious to watch. So where all my buddies texted in a group chat and they're like, "That was the smartest thing he could have
It
done."
was, to be fair, and this is how he thought. I heard him in his post-round interview. Like, once Eagle threw out of bounds, it was pretty much his decision was made.
Yeah.
Like, why? So, like, had Eagle forced it, or I think Cole was out of it at that point. Not quite, but had Eagle or Cole kind of landed in bounds at all, he wasn't doing it. And it would have played
No.
out, and it could have been a different story.
Exactly.
So, interesting. Okay, we're 15 away
Yeah.
from 10K. I'll just
Can I
keep
just say
putting it
real
out
quick
there.
while we're talking about hole
14 away.
16? I'm going to pressure
Uh-oh.
this in. That hole was not good for FPO. That was real bad. Like that's a bad hole for FPO with 396-foot island. Like somebody can look it up how many people actually like made in bounds. I don't even care about birdies, just made in bounds.
So
Like we're watching the lead card, like Ella Hansen barely gets in. Well, last round she didn't, but some rounds she barely gets in, and then all three others just OB. The winner of the tournament's just like, go big or go home. Guess I should try. Like, why not? And she has like no shot at making the island,
Do
and
you-
I think probably missed it all.
do you
4
think it's a
days.
bad hole? So day one was extremely windy there. Do you think it's a bad hole because of the weather conditions, or do you think it's a
Don't
bad hole
know.
because
That is far for the FPO division for an island.
how big was the you say it's a 360-foot hole? Okay, but is the island
I
80
don't know
feet
how
short of the
much it
hole?
was
So
to
now it's a
clear.
280-foot hole. That's every FPO player can throw it 290 feet and land in bounds. Now, if it's 30 mile per hour
Sure.
headwinds, it's a different story. Yeah, I understand that it makes it look like a really bad hole. I don't know the exact dimensions of the hole. I know OB only looked like it was 12 feet long in the basket. Looking from where Simon was putting back in, it didn't look like that far of a putt. Maybe 15, 20 feet at most, but short of the island, because I know that hole, I've played it before. I never really saw where the OB started though, because realistically, any
I'm
FPO
with you.
player could have taken an overstable zone gator type disc, thrown it potentially 250 feet, and they might have been in bounds and played. They would never be playing for the birdie, but they could play for the par every single day. So
Yeah, that's totally fair. I don't know how short it was. If it was like completely attainable and players were just trying to go for that birdie and all ended up OB, that'd be a different story, and I would
Yeah.
eat my medicine on that.
there you go.
But
Oh,
from
baby,
what I
11
saw,
away,
it,
everybody. 11 away from
Oh
10K.
my goodness.
11.
it didn't feel like
funny
that.
enough, we got to end the show early tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, we're
Matt, you
going-
can carry on. I said my piece.
Okay.
I'll argue next.
I'm
next
glad
point.
I wasn't on the other side of Evan's dumb arguments.
My
That's
wife
all I
says
can
the
say.
milk might be good, Nick. It might be. So you're going to mix it with some
so we
sour.
gotta Uber Eats some milk over here real quick.
Oh
We
wait,
have ice cream.
we got some guy just paid us $9.99.
Yes, actually,
for
if you can scroll back up, I think his name is
Nick's
Steven.
Pizza.
Sean DeStefano says, "What are your favorite courses in Massachusetts?" Thank you for
quick
the
list.
$9.99 super
The quick
chat.
list. I don't want to offend anybody.
What's that?
The quick list. Like, just everybody. No,
the quick list?
listed
I think
Oh,
obviously Maple
Maple
Hill's a
Hill.
given. Nantucket to me is also
Nantucket's the-
fantastic.
For me, like if I'm talking about my personal favorites, Nantucket,
Yeah, I've never-
New England Disc Golf Center, Buffinville, Maple Hill.
Buffinville is fantastic.
Yeah.
I give Meadowbrook a very solid nod, as well as recently I went out to Westy Acres, a lot of potential. And I say potential meaning it's fun right now. It's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I have to give 501. I love their prestige. Evan's being real to himself.
Evan's
But-
all the love to them.
mischievous.
All the
But
love
you
to them. I'm
cannot
sorry,
take
that was
away
inappropriate.
how, and I know where you're coming from, but you can't take away how clean, how nicely manicured, the woods, everything. It's a fairways, in my
clean.
opinion. I feel like it's really good course.
Oklahoma has potential to be top 5.
That's not what you were
Yeah,
saying
Ben?
last night.
Well, I was saying no. I was saying. Well, now I have to explain it. I was saying that It was
The rough
very
was
beautiful.
rough.
The rough
Rough
was
was
just
rough,
rough,
yeah.
which
So
is
was Nantucket.
understandable.
And that's all we got to say about that.
Have you been to Nantucket?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, Nantucket's rough is rough.
All right.
Okay.
I got to say Maple Hill, Westy Acres, Meadowbrook, New England Disc Golf Center, and I'm still looking for that fifth. I am all over
He's
the place
all
on
over.
that.
You know,
fifth.
not gonna lie, Berry
It's
Falls
not
was probably pretty
501,
close
it's
to it,
not
but
Puffenville.
Newberry
Newberry.
sucks.
Okay.
Newberry sucks.
For our
Barry was, like,
non-Massachusetts
debatably top
listeners,
10. Now it's definitely not.
hopefully you all have your own favorite courses. You understand the arguments that are being made here. You probably have your local scene just like that. I have one more question from Disc Golf Discussion Group. It says, there is still a shocking number of folks around here. They say folks. I don't know where they're from, but folks around here who continue to bash hashtag grow the sport. I'd be curious to hear some civil debate on the topic, both sides. What are the pros and cons internally and externally, meaning, and I've even seen this outside of this group this week. The sport is pretty big for where it used to be. We've talked about in 4 years, it more than 150% growth, right? It went from 100,000 to 250,000 in about 4 years' time.
Yep.
How does that benefit the average local player? That's the grow the sport. They're like, wait, why? Like, I'm enjoying my local scene as it is. What is getting it bigger? Now I have backups on every hole. I have to pay to play disc golf. Like, they can see it as a negative. This is kind of what I'm bringing to it. Then you have people, I want to say like me, who has always been like, let's make this bigger. Let's get it bigger. Let's do podcasts. Let's do media. Let's do live broadcast. Let's pay the players lots of money. Well, why do I feel that way? I feel like I can see the positives and how it returns to my fun. I get to now watch disc golf almost every single weekend, which would not be a thing had it grown here. I get to experience more courses that would not have been here. Are some of them getting busier? Absolutely. But it creates this demand, supply. We can make things nicer. We can have more elite. And some people don't want that. So some people say slow the sport. Some people say grow the sport. I don't know where your mindset is. I would imagine we're all grow the sport here, but can you see a perspective for the other side?
Could I see a perspective from slowing the sport?
Yeah, like, hey, my local course, like everything's just getting, gatekeepers.
That's just what it's called.
What do you feel though? Like, could you see their perspective?
No, that's just they're just saying that for no reason. That's what I'm trying to say. Is
Selfish.
Yes, selfish. It's very selfish. And I guess I can understand where they're coming from, but it's from a selfish standpoint and in a negative standpoint, rather than
Now,
we
could
should be growing
growing
it.
the sport also be from a selfish standpoint? I'm honestly asking that question. I agree with you, Ben, but just like trying to think inward. What I do want to say is like 2020 was a really tough year for everything, of course.
True.
But on the disc golf course was courses that are never busy, and you could go right now and never have a backup. Were packed every single hole, which was awesome for the sport, of course. Really, really tough at the time, made playing really, like, honestly stressful. Just like people who had no clue what they were doing, wouldn't let anyone pass. You'd be a solo player and be stuck behind 8 sums who wouldn't care about a thing. Things like that are tough. But it's kind of this slow moving effect where more courses are slowly coming, and it might not have been at the time where it got big, but now we're kind of seeing 2 to 3 years later, that's how long it takes to put in courses from scratch, getting like town or landowner approval to then having them get built, having, tee pads built, baskets put in, kind of things getting matured. And now I feel like, at least in New England, we're kind of hitting this point where like courses are popping up pretty regularly, and the amount of players is kind of slowly lessening since 2020's big boom, just because people are getting back to their normal lives for a couple of years now, that we have so many courses to play, and it's not an issue anymore. So it's growing pains. It's like when you were a kid and your legs were crazy hurting that one night, and your parents would be like, yeah, your bones are growing, and you didn't have a clue, but like you're just growing. Does that analogy make sense at all? But then the next day you're fine and you got an inch taller or something. I don't know how those things work, but that's what it feels like.
You don't see people complaining about slow the sport for basketball or for soccer or football. Like, you don't see like slow it down, it's making things worse. You don't see that. And I think, to your point, Evan, it's a part of the growing pain, as you put it, where like there is a period of time where it's kind of like, this is horrible. I can't, get on my course. I can't play. I can't get into tournaments. Everything's full. Yeah. But I would agree. Give it a little time. Tournaments are starting to even out. I'm seeing lots of tournaments nowadays where you're actually like, dude, I've seen tournaments where I could sign up the day of now. It's starting to come back around.
Help figure out, help be a TD in your area. if you want, or like help someone else be a TD in their area, help out with the course. I know it's not your job to do those things, but you want more tournaments, more TDs have to come about. And you can have C tiers every single day of the week. More TDs have to go out and do those things. Maybe you're that person, maybe you're not. I'm someone where, you know, like I've been a player for 10 years for the most part now. And I know within my next few years, I'm going to transition probably more into the working aspect of disc golf, of TDing events and, you know, all those things. Like I'm not grinding my life away every single day trying to get back onto the Pro Tour or get onto the Pro Tour just in general at all. And so I'm going to be one of those people who's going to transition into, I'll probably start TDing a lot of events actually. And that's one way for, if there's not enough TDs, there's not going to be enough events, which means in your region, every single person is going to sign up for the 2 or 3 events that's happening per year. So it's just all, I don't know.
You can go get a pickup. You can get a pickup game of basketball at any court around the city, and eventually there will be enough courses. Not that many, not as many as basketball, but there will be enough courses where you won't have this like wait. In fact,
there are certain places.
There are some places that are super dry spots where it's like there's one
I was
course.
Just about to bring that up.
Everybody drives. You have to drive an hour to get there, and that's the only one. That one, we need more disc golf courses there.
I could go to one of the local gyms around here and get 10 people and we'd play 5-on-5 basketball just against each other all the time. But if I wanted to go to the YMCA and pick up basketball, there's going to be 55, 60 other people there potentially. And I got to wait, you know, you got to put your
slow the sport, Nick.
So that's the thing. It's like, if I go to Maple Hill, I know there's going to be a crap ton of people there. If I go to Newton Hill,
not as much with tee times.
Not as much with tee times, but you know, just you get what I'm saying. You have an incredible course that everyone knows about and you know people are going to play there. Or I can go to Newton Hill. And I might get lucky middle of the day and no one's there. Like in my area.
Oh, there's people there. They're just hiding in the bushes.
Like in Virginia.
I've seen it.
In Virginia, if I go to New London at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday morning, more than likely the only other people that's going to be on that property are the bike riders that use the mountain trails. There might be 1 or 2 other disc golfers.
All right.
And so
Good topics here. Those are 3 questions from disc golf discussion. We'll see what we can find. Leave your questions in disc golf discussion for the group. We might snag it.
That was good segment.
We have a Facebook group. Go onto the Nick and Matt Show, the fans of Nick and Matt Show group, and literally post questions.
I think there's like 12 people in there because it's not really a thing. It's not really a thing. It could make it a thing.
Yeah,
go join it.
Go. Yeah, I was gonna say jump on the Facebook
double check.
group and
are we doing hot sauce? Let's see.
Sure hope not.
Not yet.
Whoa, we're stuck at 11. We're stuck 11 away. 11.
I'm not mad, guys. I'm not mad.
Dude,
Slow the subs, guys.
Everyone here is a subscriber.
Slow the subs. Slow the sports.
If you sub, there's 11 people left. We're so close.
Slow it down, everybody.
The hot, like the Mad Dog or whatever it is, the bomb. Okay, here's what I want to kind of wrap up on. We don't need to like go on and on and on. This should be a short.
I want to wrap up.
What is the playoff review? What is the playoffs? Because
playoffs.
Do you have any future vision for playoffs? So first of all, the idea is how you finish in standings is going to give you not handicap, but they're going to give you strokes. Everyone has their opinion. Let's see how it plays out this year. I think it was something we actually talked about last year, and it actually is happening. Not because we talked about it, but it's because it's a thing worth trying. But when it comes to playoff, I personally feel like the name is not right.
I don't think we need playoffs in the sport.
It's not. Well, the name just is misleading to what it actually is. I don't feel like if this is a playoff, I feel like it could work if during the round that was the storyline. Like they did who's going to win this, but also there was some storylines in there like significantly with like cameras on you at like 30th place. They're like, dude, if he doesn't make this putt, he's out like of the playoffs. That starts to change it because there are people like that. They're not going to get enough points. They're going to be out. I need to see more storyline around that to be like, this is the playoffs, bro. And obviously award the winner with the prize cash, but we need more storylines surrounding elimination for it to be called a playoff. That's my opinion.
What about this idea? Kind of going what you're going off of. They let 100 people into D-GLO
every round.
After 2 rounds,
they cut
25 people and you're out of the playoffs. Would that make it more? Yeah. Would that make it more intense?
That's kind of my point.
No,
is elimination. Like there, you have to see
what you're
people.
Saying. I was just like,
it's different. What you're saying is similar. You have to see elimination. I feel like, and I don't want to hear about like, at the next event, like oh, this is who's in it. I
Probably
want to
like
hear
that's
about
it.
who's not making it.
So this is, I think, what you would do is the 32 people that are like the MPO players right now, the top 32 in points, and whoever's won an
Snap.
event,
You're out.
they're guaranteed to make the playoff events and stay in the playoff events because points wise they are so good. Now
Right,
that
there
doesn't
should
mean
be a
that's-
crew, the top however
yes,
many.
the top
Yes.
32,
Sure.
and that doesn't. Now going from D-GLO to MVP Open, Simon, who was in 30th place, may have dropped. I know Simon just won the event. I'm using a hypothetical, but if Simon didn't say Simon got 50th at D-GLO, okay, now he's in 34th place to where, yeah, after 2 rounds at MVP, he might get booted from the playoffs. If you made a really, really cool structure like that, I actually think that's badass.
Yeah,
Because
play
you could
for
look
your
at someone
career.
where,
Well,
let's say Paul didn't win PCS Sula, and now technically,
PCS Osula.
excuse me,
Sorry.
you're right. Nope, you're right. PCS Open.
Always here to
We
correct.
don't need any hate emails.
exactly. Like the LWS. Anyways, so let's say Paul didn't win PCS and wasn't guaranteed to make the Pro Tour finale right now, which he automatically is, right? Evan, am I right to say that?
Yeah, he's
He's
automatically in 'cause he's
automatically
winning
in.
that
Let's
event.
say he didn't win that event, and then now you have this massive storyline. Will Paul McBeth make the Pro Tour finale? Paul McBeth sitting
Well,
at
that's
D-GLO is
Paige
playing
Pierce right
horrible.
now.
That's Paige Pierce right now. Yeah, like let's say Paul is playing horribly at D-GLO. He's 67th place after 2 rounds. Boom, he's gone. That's a massive storyline for us to
I
talk about
know.
the next week of like Paul McBeth eliminated from the playoffs. Is
But
this
let
the
me-
worst year of Paul McBeth? Like I'm using him because he's a
Let me
friend of
make
mine
this
and I know I
even
can do that,
weirder,
but-
though. Unfortunately, so he's out of the playoffs first round, right? Oh, but wait, Worlds is next week. He's
So-
back. Like
No, so
it's-
so
Yeah.
at that point,
The
at that point, I would
placement
make the
is weird.
playoffs a back to back.
Yeah,
up
it needs
until the
to
Pro
be
Tour finale.
something
It should be
like
3
that.
tournaments in a row, and I think that I
Yes,
think that would actually
needs
be
to
badass.
change too.
I
To,
would
to
cut
make
off-
playoffs work.
I would cut 25 people every single round. If you're 76th through 100th,
Yeah.
boom, you're done after round 1. If you're 51st through 75,
Yep.
whatever the actual numbers are, boom, you're done after round 2. Now everyone in the top 50, they make it.
Let's just call
they're
them
good to
the
go.
the elimination round.
Survivor League.
Yeah.
It's literally Survivor Golf, which
We love.
yeah, playoffs isn't a great word
Let's
for it
send a
because-
message to the
at least right now.
the people in power and see if they'll change.
Because
next
that would
year.
make it more intense. Yeah.
It would be insane. It would be so fun.
Because if you're having a bad day,
They
then
throw
you're
a
out.
camera.
Yeah.
They throw a camera on that guy, and they're like, if he misses this putt, he's
'Cause
out.
Who are
And he-
people that like
Like
you're
he
like,
hits
oh my-
it, people celebrate.
Yeah.
He misses it. You're like, oh my goodness, playoffs
Okay,
are crazy. Oh no,
I'm just trying to
How
look
many
at random
subs do we
people.
have?
Like, let's see, they had 73 people
8
at this
away.
event. So let's say I
8
took
subs away.
Oh my.
let's say I took the top 40 people and they made it to the next playoff event because this event only had 73 people at it. So I'm just taking top 40 at this point.
Well, would you
All
do
right.
it on place or would it be like a combined points? Like you get extra points.
so-
Like are you resetting all points and it's whatever place you get at D-GLO or whatever the playoff?
I would
event is?
reset all points.
Or-
I would reset all.
Okay.
So everyone except for the top 32 is how I would do it. Everyone else is not guaranteed to make it into rounds 3 and 4. So if let's say it's a 4-round event and we're eliminating a bunch of people right now after the top 40. See you later, Ben Calloway, AJ Carey, Paul Yulee, Chandler Fry, Gavin Rathbun, Andrew Presnell, Mar Weed, Colt Montgomery, Thomas Gilbert, Joey Buckets, Andrew Fish, all these people that are full-time touring professionals, their Pro Tour season is done because they're eliminated from it. Now we have and let's say we're not counting the if you win an event, you automatically make it in. But for FPO, you have 34 people. So let's take the top 17. See you later, Ali Smith, Raven Klein, Erica Shinsham, Holly Finley, Lika Lauritsen, Vanessa Van Dyke, and Macy Bella Diaz,
Dude,
Sayananda, Katrina Allen, Lisa Fikes,
you just gave me an idea.
Ellen
Nick.
Whitboom. Like all these players are just done.
I need Statmando's help. I don't really. I could just license this and do it myself. But like, dude, we could make our own playoffs. Like,
Playoffs.
Who's eliminated, Evan? 25 of the bottom players right now. We could just do our own playoffs and just track it. They keep playing, that's fine. But like we'll just keep being
Yeah.
like they're out.
Have
They're
a
out. So they're not
separate
even in the list for
leaderboard?
the next event. And we just see who the last
I see what
25
you're
are.
saying. Yeah, I think that somebody said it earlier. I think what needs to happen for playoffs, if they really want this playoffs feel, if they want it to continue as is, as like elite plus
Yes.
plus, which is kind of what they are, which is like you get extra bonus, you get 4 rounds. They're already awesome events. Last year was GMC and MVP. This year it's D-GLO and MVP. Like 2-3 of the best tournaments all year. The other ones that are missing are elite plus or majors. So I think it already like they've elevated it. It is elevated. The points now matter a ton because there's no drops. Elite Plus, you could have it be dropped if you had a really bad finish with an Elite regular event. Here, everything matters. Paul McBeth missing this event is huge because he missed out on so many points if he cares about points. I think that is all really valuable. It's not bad in any way in this sense. But when you hear playoffs, you really think of what we're thinking of, which is, end of the season, like, win and go on. And you can't have that, as we've already said, where it's, okay, playoff event. Oh, now we're going to a silver, almost like a preseason event at this point. Worlds being the biggest major of the year, to then go to another silver event, like a preseason event at this point, to a playoff event.
I agree.
To a FPO major, to an MPO major / FPO really, really good event at USDGC and Throw Pink, to then the Tour Championship, the ultimate championship. So if they could switch around the schedule, and I really think they can, there's enough weeks in the year, at least in the Southeast, that you can still play disc golf easily. If they go USDGC, maybe even do a week off, maybe it's the week after. I don't know all this. This is all logistics that can get figured out.
I would go back to back to back.
Boom, boom, boom. Have 3 in a row. The first playoff event, let's say for MPO, is top 80. The next one's top 50. And then the next one's top 32. FPO, you could be like top 60, top 45, and then top 20. I'm just making those numbers up. You can figure out exactly how they go and have it be really particular. I wouldn't mind having it still be by points that don't get reset. 9996. But I also do see your point, Nick, on how it resets, because that's what's happened with the Tour Championship. It would be cool. And now this is my little extra bonus. How cool would it be if these 3 weeks in a row were all in like the same general area? Like, it could all be in North Carolina. You could go from USDGC / Throw Pink to maybe BlueRidge, to then maybe another awesome course in that area, and then end in Charlotte.
Here's the problem.
Those be the
Charlotte? You ready?
Charlotte, excuse me.
You ready?
Have those all in the same area.
I've heard, and we could have brought on
travel.
You guys had Big Germ on last week when I wasn't here. Fantastic guest to speak his mind. I love it. He says it great. He speaks his mind. I remember we talked about this concept. I think he was in studio, or he was at least in our house last year, MVP Open time. We were having dinner or whatever, and we were talking about this. And I'm pretty sure, and he might change his mind on it, but his opinion was like, of the mindset, like, yeah, but if you're eliminating people, like, their career is not on the line, which, yes, it is, but like, they're out. Now they don't make any more money like the rest of the season. And I'm kind of like, well,
it's 3 tournaments.
It should, maybe it should.
WNBA players, or excuse me, NBA players, like, because I don't really know the WNBA playoffs. NBA players, if you're the 8th seed or now the 6th seed, whatever, if you get booted the first round, you're done. You're still getting a yearly paycheck because you signed a salary contract, but your bonuses for making it into every single, next round of playoffs or winning the NBA championships, like, all that is done. So I think it's just up on me. There you go.
It is.
What?
3 more.
Just updating the people. We're
more.
3 away from 10,000.
By the way, we never shout us out. I picked Simon to win. I just won my claim to fame
and
there.
Ella Hansen in second.
Well, I was going to say, actually, Evan, I don't know. Do we have anything more to talk about playoffs? I think you could go on forever about that.
Yeah, we could go on forever.
I'll throw out my last 30 seconds of it is, I think in October, I would love to see the last 3 events of the year be elimination style playoff events back to back to back. I don't love the idea of doing it all in the same state, but I do understand that actually probably makes the most sense to make it easy on everyone. Charlotte has proven to be, North Carolina in general has incredible disc golf courses. So you definitely could do that there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But anyways,
in Charlotte.
First of all, we are probably going to have hot sauce happening down here, and we're not going to force Nick to do what he doesn't want to do. We'll see what he does, though. The other thing
recommend people to make alt accounts.
We have pop picks that you guys did, so we want to hear the results of that. I'll give you my take real quick. I didn't give pop picks, so let me just give this take, and then you guys move into pop picks. Players who are starting to shine later in the season, so whether it's the last 1 or 2 or this one, you're starting to see a lot of improvement. Chris Dickerson, Cole Riddall, and this is a massive breakout year. Kevin Jones, that's the player that I would also pick here specifically. Anthony Barella, even. Those are the players that I would pick out of MPO that I'm starting to see shine later in the season. You could argue that Ohn has always been, but she's really turned it on since Mid-America specifically. She did master stuff as well. Ella Hansen, Missy Gannon. Holland Hanley's been doing this throughout the whole thing. She's pretty consistent where she is, but those are also my players.
Yeah.
And I will give one kudos to Sarah Hokum, who has seemingly found some inspiration for this year to play probably a better average than she did last year. We'd have to look that stat up, but I just wanted to give a few shout outs to these players who are starting to shine at this point in the season. Other than that, pop picks, and then we'll see if we've hit 10,000. So you guys did pop picks. I wasn't here
Dude,
for it.
pop picks need to go by hella quick, Evan, because we gotta be
right.
done.
No,
So we don't hit 10K.
my
you're eating
goodness.
hot sauce.
Oh,
Two
I see.
subscribers.
All right. Well, Nick, let's start off with you because you were in last place. You got negative 22.5 points this week.
Sheesh.
11 each, 11 and change kind of adds up to Andrew Fish and Rebecca Cox. Rebecca
those are
Cox finished,
horrible.
I think, second to last.
Yeah.
Her average is not
Fish
super
was
great
like
this
10th
year,
to
and even
last,
finished below that. And Fish was 55th.
Yeah.
So it comes down to Ben and I.
Dude, mine was you won, Evan. We know. Like, you don't have to.
Okay, I can't make it a surprise. All right, in first place,
Mine was so bad.
we have me with
Yeah.
16 points. I win 2 weeks in a row. It's not even close in pop picks all time. But I picked Juliana Corver, who finished 6 points above her average, and Chandler Fry, who picked 9.9 points above his average. Ben, you were close by. You're only 2.5 points behind at 13.5. Maria Oliva, that was the best pick of
What?
anyone all week. Yeah, you had her 17.5 average. She finished 7th. And Raven Newsom, who got you just 3 points, but both positive,
Wait,
which is pretty
Oh,
good.
because his average finish is like less than 70. What do you
Raven
finish?
Newsom's average finished 64th. He averaged 60. His average is 64th. Excuse me. He finished 61st.
I thought I was doing way worse because he finished
yeah,
like,
but hey,
towards the end.
he beat Manabu, and so even though Manabu's
I
average
would have
is
got so many points
undefined,
there.
yeah, I don't know how he would calculate that. So
Interrupting real
Mark me
quick
the
to
winner,
my,
then.
my assistants upstairs in the upstairs green room. Bring down the hot sauce.
Bring it down.
All right, keep going.
yeah, and let's get to Sarah Hokum for a second. Her average round rating from Elite and Majors this year is 958. That's how you say ratings. That's up from last year.
It has
But it's
happened. I'm
below
sorry. We
from
just did it.
2018
Live
through
interruption.
2021.
Hold on, we'll
So-
come back
Evan,
to it.
start dancing. Come
10.
on now.
10,003 subscribers. People wanted that
Man,
last
3.
one, and they just were like, everybody, boom.
Now I can't even unsub to the channel. It won't help.
Let's go.
See, Nick's already crying. All right, sorry. The hot sauce is on its way, I would hope. If not, we'll send intern Ben up. But seriously, close us out. That's exciting. We had to at least call that moment out.
Yeah.
We'll get to it celebrating in just a minute. Finish out this segment, Evan.
Oh, that was it. I
Oh.
won pop points.
You won.
I barely beat Ben, but all time, no one's catching me. You guys got to step your game up. We will introduce pop, lock, and drop
Oh, God.
for Worlds, if I'm
Come on.
not mistaken. We'll have to let's go. We'll
Here,
have to figure
Tanner.
out the point structure for
Here.
that.
Okay.
Let's shout out a world champion right here, though. He just brought down, excuse me, he just brought down the hot sauce and the chips that I will be dying on in a second. But world champion, say hello to everyone.
Hi.
Say thank you for 10K subs.
He said, I'm not doing that.
Teener.
All right, let me ask Tanner this question. If you had to pick one disc in your whole bag, what favorite disc would you throw all the time?
Sidewinder.
Say it right in there.
Sidewinder.
Sidewinder. Congratulations on your world championship. Congratulations, everybody, on 10,000.
Okay, baby.
Thank you for
10K
bringing it
subs.
down, Tanner.
Woohoo.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's.
Matt, you put you put the hot sauce on the chips.
Is it called one dab? Like, is that how we do it? Just one dab.
One dab.
Opening the
I
bag.
don't know if it's that hot.
Fresh bag. Okay. Well, I just heard him say, I don't know if it's that hot. You know what I'm doing.
I don't
though.
know if Tanner or Hunter are still listening to the show, but if you guys want to bring down a glass of water,
Well, I don't
with
know.
some
It could
ice,
be hot.
'cause
The bomb.
I'm
Yeah,
about
he
to
needs
die.
something. Peanut
All right,
butter. Do you
yeah.
like peanut butter?
I love peanut butter,
Okay. If you're still listening upstairs,
but I need water as well.
peanut butter,
I know
water,
I'm gonna
ice
need
water, ice
Yeah.
cream.
And when you have something hot, the more you talk, the better it feels.
So the last time I had something super hot, I was in Nashville with my girlfriend, and we went to a brunch place called Party Foul, and they had this sauce called Poltergeist sauce, and she's like Matt, to where they just love hot sauce, and so she got some on the side, and she's like casually eating it, and she's like crying while she's eating, and she's like, "Oh, this is so good!" Like, oh my god,
This
and I'm
bird's
like,
so good.
and I'm like, you are
Crying tears of
outside your
joy?
freaking mind. Yeah, tears of joy.
Okay, to be
Like,
fair,
it's insane.
I gotta show this. Okay, let's go full screen here.
Dude, I can
That's
already
some
taste
this
all
amount, I don't want to
to
drip it on my keyboard. That amount, that's Nick's amount. Is that too much? That might be too much.
Put more.
I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna do
Make a little
this.
sandwich
Come on,
for
it's
him.
10K.
Really? He needs that much?
Hunter only gave me the ice cream. Thanks, Hunter.
Okay, I'm giving Nick a little less.
No, I'll take it.
No, he needs more.
That much is for Nick.
No,
It's
no,
a
no,
dab.
he
That's
needs-
fair. That's fair.
It
That's
is
a
fair.
Nick and Matt
That's a good
show.
drop.
Take that. Don't touch your eyes with it. I'm shaking.
Everyone's saying the bomb is a new experience.
Yeah, so
Holy
this is
guacamole.
the bomb beyond insanity.
I'm
What
gonna.
kind of peppers are in
We're
it?
just gonna go ahead and just chomp down right into the microphone. Evan, you might have to hold down the show. We're just gonna have to close it out.
boy.
We'll see.
Oh boy.
Ready,
All right,
boys?
what-
I'm a little
I don't
scared.
even have the
I'm a little
chat
scared.
up, so I don't
I'm
even know
gonna
what to
get
talk
hot.
about.
I'm afraid for Nick.
I'm a little scared.
Did we get him anything?
No, I have nothing.
Dude,
I'm just.
Matt-
I'm dying.
Matt did me
Wait,
dirt.
did they bring you ice cream?
Sorry.
Yeah, just me,
it's
though.
over there.
Give it to Evan. I mean, give it to Nick.
It's all right. We'll see how it goes. Maybe,
Hunter,
maybe I've.
Bring down peanut butter. Bring down the sour milk.
Yeah, Josh from
Bring
Overthrow
down
goes.
ice
Nick should
water.
get more because his name is first.
True.
Hey,
you hold
really
it
quick.
down. I'm
Really-
eating.
Really quick
we gotta
before
eat.
no, really
Oh.
quick before we do
Are we
this.
getting cheers?
Pretty much every single week we tell someone you love them. We love you guys.
Too late.
We're at 10K subs, and honestly, Matt and I we started the show 3
Wow.
years ago as kind of fun. We had computers sitting right next to each other. Thank you all. Cheers to 10K.
Cheers.
I don't know if you're gonna hear from me the rest of the night.
All right. Well, while they're chewing on chips, I'm gonna at least do a
That's so
mini
hot, man.
preview
That's just one chip.
of the
That was
Jim
hot?
Palmieri's 50th AFDO presented by
Tastes like
Dominic
one chip.
This. It's happening in Rochester, New York this
Matt,
weekend.
why?
It's a silver event, the second to last one of
Oh, hold
the
on, I gotta
season.
talk. If
You
you're a
need more
kid,
chips.
if you're a kid under 13 years old and you don't like profanity, you might want to leave the show now because I'm about to go
Oh my
off. Wow.
goodness.
Oh my god.
I might regret this,
What
but
is
I'm
this?
going. I'm
Is this
going for
sour
more.
milk?
Going for more. Going for more.
Ooh, look at this. All right. In the field, we have Manabu Kajiyama playing again. He's the highest rated player in the field. Matty O.
I need the ice
Jason
cream.
Ford, Ezra
Going for the
Robinson.
third.
Go ahead.
A few more names. Paul Uleberry, Jeremy Colling are all playing this event. That's about it from players that are super notable. In FPO, we have Holly
Matt,
Finley,
what are you doing?
Stacy Kiefer, Chantel Budinsky, Ellen Woodboom, Raven Klein. It is a thin field. Expect new winners. I'm going off my mind right now. While these
Wait, can I
people are
tell a quick
eating
story?
chips.
So
Yeah, Ben, go
quick
ahead.
story. So I'm on a new team challenge team, Team Diamonds. Captain Gage Benson. We played a tags match. This guy, me and this guy Darby are the pledges, and they're saying if we don't win in a tags match, they're forcing us to eat onions as a haze. Has anyone got hazed in team challenge? Am I supposed to eat these onions? I need your advice. I don't want to eat onions, whole onions.
Oh. You can't.
I think that's time to play it for a different team, in my personal opinion.
Can't stop.
Evan, would you eat the onions to be on the team?
I would absolutely not. I don't know if I would, like, if I get free cookies, I don't know if I'd play team challenge. Not as like a team challenge.
Dude, I just gotta win to avoid the
where in
onions.
my life it is, and the amount of
Shout out
time I have.
Darby. He owes one.
All right. While
Nick,
I think
how
I'm
you
able
feeling?
to,
Oh, Nick's got ice
I've
cream.
got ice cream.
I ate 3 of those chips. Bad
My mouth-
choice.
It really like the cold ice cream helps. Oh god, a lot.
Hunter, can you bring me a spoon for his peanut butter? Come on now.
All right.
Kind of tearing up a little bit. My
I'm
mouth
tearing
is
up.
completely screwed. Like are we done? Are we?
Yeah, we got to close it out, bro.
All right, thank you everybody
Matt
so
ate
much
way
for
too
tuning
much.
into the Nick and Matt show tonight. Thank you all for 10K subscribers. God, comment, like, subscribe on the channel.
In my eyes.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Tell someone you love them this week. We'll catch you in the next one.
That's the shortest you've ever done. All right. It's a high, bro. We made it to 10,000. 10,000 and 5. Thank you, everybody. What a way to celebrate. We'll catch Guys, we're having a blast over here. Hope that made you smile. We'll see you next week, everybody. Till next time, man, you are dripping sweat, bro, like hardcore. Peace out.
You didn't see me just pour water. Oh, I just poured all that water on me.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
The Nick and Matt Show, a disc golf podcast designed for you, the disc golfer. Find The Nick and Matt Show on your favorite podcast platforms or join the conversation live on YouTube.